Week 2 of early voting is underway in Virginia's high-stakes governor's race, and also up for grabs is one race that could split the ticket this November. Attorney General. Republican incumbent Jason Miyares is trailing slightly in polls behind former delegate Jay Jones. The winner will oversee criminal investigations, including defending convictions on appeal. And this person would also help protect your money by enforcing state consumer and business protection laws, and so much more. This week, 7 News is highlighting the nominees' positions on various topics that could impact your life or your family's lives. Now, during their sit-down with 7 News' sister station in Lynchburg, the nominees discussed their plans to address drug addiction deaths in the Commonwealth.
You tout lowering that as a victory for Virginia, yet 8 out of 10 drug overdose deaths involve fentanyl.
Correct.
What more can you do about that?
Correct. Well, the good news is where we were versus where we are today. I was able to stand with Governor Youngkin in the DEA national headquarters to be able to announce that Virginia was not top 10, not top 5. Virginia was the #1 state in the entire country in the drop of addiction deaths. It was more than double the national average. That didn't happen by chance. We went on the supply side, we went on the demand side. And on the demand side, we went after these huge pharmaceutical companies, some of the largest in the world, that about 25 years ago, they came to Virginia and they treated Virginians like we were a chemistry experiment. They went out in the coal fields and they pushed OxyContin to so many unsuspecting Virginians. They got caught in a cycle of addiction by accident. They went from OxyContin to then heroin and now fentanyl. But part of my job when I say we're the people's protector is also hold big corporations accountable when they act in a way that hurts Virginians. We filed some of the largest, most aggressive lawsuits we've ever seen in Virginia, some of the largest settlements, over $1.5 billion. That money doesn't come to my office. It comes back to treatment. And that was our message on the demand side. We wanted Virginians in that cycle of addiction with a very simple message. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help is one of the most beautiful, bravest things you could do. So we wanted to deal on the demand side. And on the supply side, we aggressively went after those dealers. As I've said, we prosecuted and gotten enough fentanyl off the streets that would have killed close to 7 million Virginians. That's why we're the #1 drop in addiction deaths since I've taken office. It's been an incredible record of success. More to do and a long way to go. But I think, as we were told by our federal partners, Virginia really is the model of tackling addiction. We're proud of the work, and I cannot commend my partnership with Governor Youngkin, First Lady Suzanne Youngkin, have been great partners in this endeavor as well, raising the awareness of addiction.
Okay, that was Republican incumbent Jason Miyares. Now here's the Democratic nominee, Jay Jones.
The current AG touts his record, saying that he is helping to lower those death rates, a victory for Virginia. He says, what would you do if we were elected?
Well, when I was in the General Assembly, I was a member of the Opioid Abatement Authority. We have always prioritized lowering the deaths from drug use all across Virginia. We need to use the resources in the AG's office to get into our communities to help stop these problems on the front end, and we'll do that. And we have a proven track record of doing that, and I look forward to putting that into practice as the next Attorney General.
All right, joining me now is Dr. Kara Ong-Whaley, Executive Director of Better Choices for Democracy, and she currently teaches in the Department of Politics at the University of Virginia. Political science professor Gary Nordlinger also here from George Washington University. Kara, beginning with you, Miyares frames his record around measurable outcomes and partnerships with Governor Youngkin. Jones leaning on his role in the General Assembly and kind of a prevention-first vision. Which message is going to resonate more with voters?
Look, I think there is broad agreement that enforcement and treatment is needed, and I really want to commend both of the candidates and the approaches they have taken in highlighting this issue. This is really important for Virginians, and voters want data and results on this, and also voters want community-based prevention. So I think in this case, both candidates are right on target. I think Miyares has had some practical experience on the prosecution side of things that has really helped Virginia come a long way. And Jones has also had practical experience as well from the General Assembly. I think moving forward, I'd love to see both candidates talk about how they're going to independently provide independent metrics for measuring progress on this issue, and how there could be more regional coordination.
Yeah, Gary, given the role of federal interdiction in fentanyl's control, is either candidate kind of overpromising what Virginians Attorney General can actually even deliver here?
No, this is a case where I don't think they're overpromising. I thought both of those answers were remarkably similar. These are probably the two most compatible positions on the same issue I've seen so far in this election. And, the fact of the matter is, education about the dangers of fentanyl, having the resources at the very, very local level to bring people back from overdoses, and just not getting them to take that drug to begin with. That's what these two candidates were talking about. And they both looked at it from their own personal perspective. The Attorney General was talking about what he had done as Attorney General, and the state senator obviously talking about what he had done in the legislature. That those are both good ways to approach that issue, once again showing your personal connection.
So, Kara, very quickly then, does it have to be this kind of balance, the message? Does it have to be this compassionate message, but also being tough on crime?
I really do think it does, but the tough on crime in this case, in a lot of ways, is really about the external actors that are coming into the state, and the actors that are distributing and making and enabling the drugs to circulate. So that's, I think, where the punishment is on this. But then I think the prevention, the compassion and the prevention side is really important for voters.
Yeah, and they both agree a lot of progress still has to be made. All right, thank you so much.
Yes.
Now, early voting in Virginia's November election is underway. And to learn more about where these nominees for Attorney General stand on the issues, just visit WJLA.com, or you can scan that QR code that's on your screen. And tomorrow at 5, our panel will break down the candidates' plan to maintain public safety in the Commonwealth.
From snack time spills to breakfast food fights, life with kids gets messy. Tumble rugs are cushioned, spill-proof, and washable, made for real-life moments. This is home. This is life. This is Washable Rugs by Tumble.
OxyContin to so many unsuspecting Virginians. They got caught in the cycle of addiction by accident. They went from OxyContin to then heroin and now fentanyl. But part of my job when I say we're the people's protector is also hold big corporations.
Welcome back to our ABC 13 exclusive, Your Voice, Your Vote Town Hall, with Attorney General candidates Jason Miyares and Jay Jones. Jason Miyares, welcome.
Great to be here.
Why should voters re-elect you as Attorney General?
Well, I said when I ran for this office, I wanted to take the Attorney General's office back to focus on protecting Virginians. When I took office, our murder rate was at a 20-year high. Our violent crime rate was at a 30-year high. Our addiction deaths were the highest ever recorded. And I wanted to work with law enforcement. And that's exactly what we've done as the people's protector in the Attorney General's office. We've launched so many different programs to go after repeat violent offenders. We've dropped our murder rate, we've dropped our violent crime rate, we've dropped our addiction rates. And so Virginians are safer today than before I took office. We're proud of our job as the people's protector, protecting Virginians every day.
Jay Jones, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Why should voters elect you as Attorney General?
Well, look, we are running this campaign to ensure that Virginia is put first. We want to make sure that we are protecting from the excesses and overreach of what you're seeing in Washington, and so that our healthcare, our jobs, our livelihoods are put first here in Virginia, and that we have an Attorney General who's going to prioritize that and make sure that every Virginian is being represented by this office to the fullest extent.
Struggling with weight loss? Finding it hard to get results that stick? With our affordable weight loss injection plans, you're just a few clicks away from the help you need. With our comparison site, you can find top-rated providers offering quick and effective weight loss injections. Start with a 2-minute quiz, and within 24 hours, your prescription can be ready. Visit us to explore the best options for you. Take a quick quiz, and we'll match you with the perfect solution in less than 5 minutes. Your personalized prescription is ready in no time. Affordable, fast, and easy.
All right, I want to talk a little bit more about law and order. You do have a record that you say you're proud of regarding public safety. What specific actions did you take to keep more Virginians alive today?
Yeah. So what we did is we launched something called Operation Ceasefire, in which Lynchburg and Roanoke are both part of that. What we saw was a small subset of repeat violent offenders were committing so much of the violent crime. Roughly 5% of felons were committing over 50% of the violent felonies. So we wanted to go after these repeat violent offenders. I took assistant attorney generals in our office. We embedded them also with our federal partners as well. We brought these cases, sometimes in state courts, sometimes in federal courts, going after this small subset of repeat violent offenders. The numbers have been remarkable. Statewide, our murder rate has dropped a third after this 20-year high, double-digit drop in the violent crime rate. Just here in the city of Lynchburg, we have seen a 50% drop in the violent crime rate and a 50% drop in our murder rate since 2021. And so we know that it's working. We know working with law enforcement and making sure we serve in that capacity, and then also went after the dealers. That's been a huge part of what we've done as well. More Virginians are alive today, as I say. We have prosecuted enough fentanyl off our streets in Virginia that would have killed close to 7 million Virginians. That's the incredible work we've done in the Attorney General's office, reversing those trends and now making Virginians more safe today than when I took office.
A public safety plan to address crime, illegal guns, and child safety. How do you plan to do that?
Well, we worked very extensively with state and local law enforcement officials, community leaders, and other stakeholders to put together a plan that reflects the needs of our communities across Virginia so that we're deploying these resources in ways that meet the challenges that we're seeing, whether it be to protect our children, to get these guns off of the streets that are harming our communities and harming our young people, and really make sure that we're putting people who have done bad things behind bars. So we're going to deploy the resources of the office to make sure that we're working in conjunction with every interested party to make sure that we are prioritizing public safety and keeping Virginians as safe and secure as possible.
I want to stay on that topic for a second because drug addiction death rates, you tout lowering that as a victory for Virginia, yet 8 out of 10 drug overdose deaths involve fentanyl.
Correct.
What more can you do about that?
Correct. Well, the good news is where we were versus where we are today. I was able to stand with Governor Youngkin in the DEA national headquarters to be able to announce that Virginia was not top 10, not top 5. Virginia was the #1 state in the entire country in the drop of addiction deaths. It was more than double the national average. That didn't happen by chance. We went on the supply side, we went on the demand side. And on the demand side, we went after these huge pharmaceutical companies, some of the largest in the world, that about 25 years ago, they came to Virginia and they treated Virginians like we were a chemistry experiment. They went out in the coal fields and they pushed OxyContin to so many unsuspecting Virginians. They got caught in a cycle of addiction by accident. They went from OxyContin to then heroin and now fentanyl. But part of my job when I say we're the people's protectors also hold big corporations accountable when they act in a way that hurts Virginians. We've filed some of the largest, most aggressive lawsuits we've ever seen in Virginia, some of the largest settlements, over $1.5 billion. That money doesn't come to my office. It comes back to treatment. And that was our message on the demand side. We wanted Virginians in that cycle of addiction with a very simple message. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help is one of the most beautiful, bravest things you could do. So we wanted to deal on the demand side. And on the supply side, we aggressively went after those dealers. As I've said, we prosecuted and got enough fentanyl off the streets that would have killed close to 7 million Virginians. That's why we're the #1 drop in addiction deaths since I've taken office. It's been an incredible record of success. More to do and a long way to go. But I think, as we were told by our federal partners, Virginia really is the model of tackling addiction. We're proud of the work, and I cannot commend my partnership with Governor Youngkin, First Lady Suzanne Youngkin, have been great partners in this endeavor as well, raising the awareness of addiction.
As you know, it impacts so many people. It just doesn't matter what the socioeconomic background is. At the same time, as you know, your opponent says that you never prosecuted a criminal case. How do you respond to that?
Look, I've spent my career as a trial attorney. I love being in the courtroom. I love arguing and advocating on behalf of people. And as Attorney General of Virginia, that's my job, is to put them first. My opponent fails to do that. He continues to prioritize Donald Trump. He continues to prioritize letting Washington run over us. We deserve an attorney general who's going to protect Virginia, protect our resources, protect our interests. And I'm looking forward to doing that come January.
When it comes to abortion, that's a big headliner, not only for Virginia, but for the rest of the country. I mean, what's your position, especially on late-term abortion?
Well, I've always...
Okay. We've heard enough. We definitely heard enough. Mioris. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa, through the police body cam, Judge Carol Weimer, you're under the microscope. Now, today's Saturday. We just got done visiting Mustafa. Mustafa is holding on, hanging on. If you've been keeping up with the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, you know that the county jail that Mustafa is held in went through a lot of changes. There is a new administration. They got rid of the old superintendent, Colonel Maliris. Under the reign of Colonel Maliris, a lot of abuse took place. Mustafa was abused, beaten up, and now the jail is under a new administration, Captain West. Now, I want to thank Captain West. I want to thank the correctional officer that are here at this county jail under the leadership of Colonel West. The county jail has changed a lot. I want to thank the staff that was at the front desk. And before we jump in, I want to remind everybody that are tuning in, when you're tuning into this podcast, it's easy to walk away from what we talk about, to walk away with that every police officer is responsible for what is going on in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. I want to remind everybody the exact opposite is true. The majority of police in Prince William County, Manassas Park, Manassas Police, Stafford County, the majority of police take care of this community. The majority of police swear an oath to this community, to protect this community. They're from this community. They do their job. Now, every time we tune in, we jump on this podcast, we're talking about specific police officers. I have specific police officers in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, and other cases that we talk about, that are involved in police misconduct. And police misconduct is a very nice word into what is going on in these cases. In the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, Mustafa lost his family in a car accident. His girlfriend, the 5-year-old baby. Mustafa was in a coma. Mustafa was helicoptered to the hospital. Every detail showed this is a car accident. Now, the police crushed and staged Mustafa's car, falsified his statements, weaponized the children. His girlfriend had children, a 9, a 10, a 14, a 16. They weaponized the children before they walked them into the forensic interview. You don't have to take. They abused them. They abused them. This is child abuse. They abused the children. And you find that out through the forensic interviews. The children are talking about the police telling them lies before they were walked into the forensic interviews. The dash camera in Mustafa's vehicle, that's his dash camera. He had it for over 5 years. Officer Chad Mason with Prince William County Police Department takes that dash camera, cut and mute that dash camera. Now, Officer Chad Mason got on the stand and admitted to Judge Weimer to cutting and editing the dash camera in Mustafa's vehicle.
And you have that transcript.
And we have that transcript. We're going to go over the transcript and what Chad Mason said to the presiding judge, Judge Carol Weimer. Now, before we jump in, I want to thank Mohammed for being here. Mohammed, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, what we're going to talk about today is the election that's coming up. The election for governor is coming up, and you have two individuals that are running for governor, Lieutenant Governor Sears and Abigail Spanberger. For Attorney General, Mayoris, and Jay Jones is running for Attorney General. Delegates, what's her name? Guzman is running for delegate.
Guzman's running. Yeah, that's right.
Guzman and what's the other guy? Jay.
I don't remember.
We'll look him up.
Jay something.
Jay something. I mean, he's nowhere to be found. So, I mean, I think he's irrelevant to the conversation. You can't reach him. You can't find him. You can't talk to him. So,
well, we know Guzman definitely doesn't show up to work.
Guzman definitely doesn't show up to work. She used to be a jail board member in our county jail, and
she was never present.
She never shows up.
Never shows up.
She collects a paycheck, but she never shows up.
Forget the paycheck. She's taken up a vote. When they vote on serious issues, she's not there to vote. So you're taking up a seat, and you're not allowing somebody else to put in a vote on serious issues, public safety, how this jail is running. I mean, they take votes every time they have these meetings. They're taking votes, and when you're not there, you're missing in action. You can't voice what the people want. You can't do what the people want if you don't show up. So now you want to be delegate to do what? Like to work from home?
Absolutely. And I circle back and we go back to who wants to be our governor. I mean,
this state needs people that are there.
Our attorney general. I circle back and I go back to who wants to be our attorney general. Our current attorney general is Mayorkas.
Jason Mayorkas.
Now, we were talking before we jump on the podcast about Jason Mayorkas and how you can't even reach Jason Mayorkas.
You can't.
He's nowhere to be found.
You reach out through the email, through the website, through secretaries, and the problem is you just don't get a response.
But he wants this community to vote him in.
You don't know where he stands on and when I say the serious issues, I mean the issues that are actively affecting this community.
I mean,
you need somebody that is there. I mean, it's nice to get a response and say, hey, we're looking into this, or thank you for your complaint. Nothing.
I mean, the real question is, Jason Mayorkas wants this community to elect him. Well, the real question
re-elect
is, re-elect him. Where is Jason Mayorkas from an American citizen that is held at a county jail for 2.5 years without a trial? Mustafa lost his family in a vehicle accident. Where is Jason Mayorkas?
Well,
why can't we reach out to Jason Mayorkas and get his take on this situation?
Not just Mustafa. I mean, you have a murder that took place on the body cam.
That's right, Tatiana David.
Okay, and you don't. The problem is you don't get a response, so you don't know where he stands on the issue. We know he's not looking into it, or I mean, I can't even say that, to be honest with you, because the complaints are there. There's record of the complaint.
Forget the complaint. 18 Brady violations were filed in court by Mustafa's defense attorney yesterday. And you can't say these are frivolous
you can't
Brady
say
violations.
That you're just making that up.
The judge,
they're on the record.
The presiding judge approved and moved those Brady complaints forward. 18, I mean, let that number sink in. 18 Brady violation in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. And what I'm talking about, when you talk about Brady, you think these are just minor Brady. You're talking about Mustafa's vehicle crushed and staged by the police. You're talking about the children weaponized, abused before they were put in a forensic interview. You're talking about police falsifying Mustafa's statements.
Falsifying a warrant.
You're falsifying a warrant. You're talking about Mustafa's dash camera cut and muted by the police officer. Specifically, Chad, these are the Brady violations that we're talking about. Major.
Again, where is the attorney general on these issues? Where is he? He's not there. He's not here. He's not here yet. He wants to come on the news. I mean, that's the only time they come out is right before November. They come out, they want to tell you how good they are, how they changed Virginia to a better place, how it's more safe now. But where have you been? For the past 2.5 years, where have you been?
You know, I'll tell you.
Clearly missing in action.
Missing in action, absolutely. You know I'll tell you what they like to hide behind is that the Commonwealth attorney, our Commonwealth attorney is Amy Ashworth, and every time you reach out to them, they tell you the case that you're talking about is sealed. by the Commonwealth attorney, we can't look into these cases. Well, today is a different kind of conversation because
You have the file.
I have the file. In the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, in the Tatiana David case, in the other cases, I've managed to access the server for the police department, enter evidence.com, and gain body cam and document entire files, and I'm releasing them on the internet. So now, Attorney General Jason Myers can't hide behind that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth sealed off these cases. Now, the real question is, why is Commonwealth Amy Ashworth sealing off these cases?
Yeah, why is she sealing it? What's so significant here? Or what's the danger that she has to seal off this file? What's the danger in Tatiana David's body cam where police murdered her and you have a Commonwealth attorney who seals it?
I think you just answered your question.
I mean,
the police on body cam murdered Tatiana David. On body cam, they're seen dragging that poor girl out of that vehicle, putting her somewhere else, only to say to the news that we found her outside the vehicle. And the Commonwealth attorney, and instead of holding those officers accountable, she seals off those body cams.
Let me tell you what I learned through this process, okay? I was talking to 2 federal prosecutors from the Eastern District of Virginia, okay? And when they sat down and I was explaining this to them, they said, "Are these videos sealed that you're talking about?" And I said, "Yeah, the Commonwealth attorney sealed them." And what they told me is they can't see what's been sealed by the Commonwealth attorney. And it's not until I told them that they're on YouTube, and that's when they took the website, they took the link to the YouTube channel, and they took it down, and they were able to actually watch it. Because when I'm telling them...
Well, it's no longer sealed. It's all over the internet.
I'm saying this is a video that was sealed by the Commonwealth attorney, and they told me, wait. If this is sealed, we can't watch it. So we know why she seals off videos. We know for a fact. She seals it to cover up and to protect murderers wearing a badge. Okay? But they have these videos now. They have these videos, okay, and they're actively looking at it. So Amy Ashworth wants to hide and conceal. I mean, a delegate probed into Mustafa's case. A delegate from Virginia Beach.
That's right. That's
okay?
right. 2 years ago.
She probed into Mustafa's case, and the response she got from Commonwealth attorney Amy Ashworth is, "You don't know what I know." Oh, wait, and I can't tell you what I know because I've sealed it. It's under a protective order. It's under a judge seal. And I can't even give you what's on it, but trust me, it's bad.
Well, Commonwealth attorney...
I mean, that's BS.
At the time, that's what Commonwealth attorney Amy Ashworth does. Anytime anybody probe into these cases, the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, the Tatiana David case, the other cases, she tells you, you don't know what I have. You don't know what I'm building my cases on. Well, today is a different kind of conversation because the cases are no longer sealed. They're all over the internet. Now, when you find out that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is using individuals, in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, is using individuals that are manufacturing probable cause. Now, a lot of people will ask, what does that mean, manufacturing probable cause? Lying in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Now, how do you know that? You ask me, how do you know they're lying in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? How do you know that individuals are being used that are lying in this case? Well, when you open those body cams that are sealed, that now they're on the internet, each individuals that are brought into this case tell you we were not there. As a matter of fact, the star witness goes as far as say Mustafa doesn't even know me.
He says Mustafa doesn't know me, and
that's the star witness, Glenn Ford.
And he also admits to committing sexual crimes against a minor. I find it really interesting that the police are not interested in pursuing Glenn Ford, who admits that he was drugging and sleeping with a minor, one of Dorothy's daughters.
Right. That's right. A private investigator got involved into this case and sat down with Glenn Ford. And on a recorded line, Glenn Ford, the star witness in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, is admitting to sexual crimes.
Yeah.
Now, when you find out, I mean, election is coming up, and the Commonwealth attorney is backing up is backing up Jay Jones, the person that's running against Jason Myers. Mohammed, I really want you to see this video. There's a video that's on the news, an ad that's coming up for the person that's running against Jason Myers as the Attorney General. And the hypocrisy here, that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, in that ad says, I'm backing up Jay Jones because he's tough on sex offenders. He's tough on pedophiles. Well, when you find out that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is using an individual, her star witness in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, is a pedophile. And he admitted on a recorded line that he sleeps with a drugs and sleeps with a 16-year-old. Amy Ashworth doesn't want this community to know this, but we're going to play a recording where Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, star witness, on a recorded line, admit that he's a pedophile. So the real question is, Amy Ashworth wants to tell this community that she's backing up Jay Jones.
You take that?
Because he's tough on pedophiles, but she's using a pedophile in the Mustafa to prosecute Mustafa Al-Jazari.
By the way, I just sent you, this is like the updated list, the updated version of what's going on with Glenn Ford.
All right, so let's take a look.
He was charged with public intoxication.
Go over to exhibits.
Public intoxication. This is on, let's see, what date was this? This was on the 2nd of May, 2024.
All right.
Okay. And the other one is possession of Schedule 2 or Schedule 1 drug. And that's also on the 2nd of May. By the way, there was other charges. He had brandishing a firearm on the same day.
Yeah.
And the other charge was intent to distribute. Okay? I mean, this gives you a glimpse into what Amy Ashworth is willing to allow in order to get someone who's a pedophile to come in and testify about Mustafa. I mean, you read at the bottom, it says, no, prosecute. So they did not prosecute Glenn Ford. He brandished a weapon. He was drunk, and he had drugs, and they charged him with intent to distribute. Okay? In addition, on social media, you have a recording where he admitted that when Dorothy was living with him, as well as Kylie, who's the 16-year-old at the time, that he was giving her mushrooms, he was giving her drugs, and he would wake up with Kylie, a 16-year-old, in his bed.
We're going to play that recording.
He was sleeping with a minor. I mean, imagine you tell somebody that an adult, okay, a 40-some-year-old guy is drugging and sleeping with his girlfriend's daughter. That's crazy. You're drugging a minor and sleeping with her. He admits to it on video.
On a recorded line, he admitted to drugging and sleeping with a 16-year-old.
And Amy Ashworth is not interested in prosecuting. She's not even interested in looking into it. The police are not interested in looking into it because there's a narrative that says this guy is our star witness. Okay, what does Rob Davis tell Glenn Ford? He tells him,
we need you to get
Mustafa off the street.
We need to get our ducks in a row. We need you, Glenn Ford. We need to get Mustafa off the street. And the question is, why are they after Mustafa? Whatever it takes, they have to get Mustafa. The details that are coming out of this case, this is a car accident.
Look, going back to Jay Jones, okay, Amy Ashworth is saying she's supporting Jay Jones because he's tough on sex offenders, right? You have a sex offender right there where Amy Ashworth is protecting him.
Well, let me play the ad for you.
She's protecting him. When she does not prosecute these charges, it's because she doesn't want him to have a criminal background so that when he comes in to testify, she tells the jury, this is a clean person. This is a member of this community who has no criminal. I mean, look at the charges.
This came up in Mustafa's defense attorney put that in a Brady. This was a Brady violation that was filed yesterday. One of the Brady violations that went through is Commonwealth Amy Ashworth looking into her witnesses.
She's not only not looking into them, she's protecting criminals.
Extensive criminal history. And in one of the in some body cams, you have Glenn Ford with the other star witness, the 16-year-old that he's sleeping with, went into Mustafa's apartment.
Oh, that's right.
Cleaned up the whole apartment.
They stole Dorothy's property, and he pawned it off. And when he pawned it, he put in the wrong address. And what do we find in these videos? We find body cams where officers are responding to an address. Some guy comes out and he's like, I never went to a pawn shop. You're telling me somebody used my address on a pawn slip? And the officer is like, that's the address that was on the pawn slip for Glenn Ford.
So I have a body cam.
So he's not only selling stolen material from an alleged crime scene. Prosecutor Sammy wants to say this is first-degree murder. This is premeditated murder. And you're telling me the apartment that belongs to Dorothy, her items were stolen by the ex-boyfriend and pawned off? He used a fake address?
I mean, the question is, why is it?
Did they charge him with that, by the way?
Mustafa's being charged with murder. Now, you're charging Mustafa with murder, and you're not preserving the apartment and the items in the apartment. The reason that's relevant is not only did they remove everything from the apartment, when you find out what's in the apartment, you'll realize why this is relevant. There's a Google Nest video inside the apartment.
There's Google Nest camera. There's a light bulb camera. I mean, Dorothy had an Alexa system in her apartment. Where is all that equipment?
Glenn Ford and the 16-year-old went into the apartment, removed the cameras inside the apartment.
They stole it.
Kylie admit, I have a record. She got online and she said, I went into the apartment. I took everything.
And she's not on the lease.
I have that on the recording.
She's not on the lease, by the way.
The police gave them access.
The police gave them access.
Well, take a while. Guess who gave them access? Which police officer?
Romero.
Investigator Romero, the same Investigator Romero that's now on a Brady violation for weaponizing the children against Mustafa before they were walked into the forensic interview. And when you say weaponize the children, what did Investigator Romero, what did the child say in the forensic interview? The child is saying it. That investigator told him that Mustafa ran away.
He fled the scene after the accident.
Left my 5-year-old baby sister to bleed to death. Wait a minute. And they could have saved her if Mustafa hadn't run away. Mustafa was in a coma.
He was airlifted.
Mustafa was airlifted to the hospital.
From the accident scene.
So when you have Investigator Romero lying to these children that are 9, 10,
that's
14,
child abuse.
That's child abuse.
I mean, a child that just lost his mother is now being told a fake story by the detective only to weaponize that child, only to hurt that child for him to get a negative response. I mean, you're talking about a delicate child. I mean, the mind of a child. He just lost his mother.
So I go back to the children that are being used in this case. They're weaponized. They're being abused. They're weaponized against Mustafa. Now, it's relevant to know that the Commonwealth attorney is using individuals that are witnesses in this case. She's calling them witnesses. Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, 16-year-old Kylie,
Can I just say something
who
about...
went into the apartment and stole the cameras inside the apartment. Only to weaponize the children and now use them against Mustafa. But they've deleted the Google Nest video inside the apartment.
That you have today, by the way.
That we have. That Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is terrified that we got our hand on the Google Nest. That shows it's a beautiful relationship.
Let me add this, by the way.
That Mustafa loved the kids, loved his girlfriend. It's a beautiful relationship.
You have an hour body cam where Rob Davis and Investigator Cruz are inside of Glenn Ford's apartment, and they're conducting an hour-long interview with Glenn Ford.
That's right.
You know what I find really interesting is that there's another body cam where they visited a random address, and they're asking, is this Glenn Ford's apartment, or is this Glenn Ford's address? The guy comes out, and he's like, no, I've lived here for years. What do you mean, Glenn Ford? Like, what? Why are you guys here? And they say, your address was used in a pawn slip. That's the pawn slip where Glenn Ford stole Dorothy's property with the help of Investigator Romero.
Investigator Romero. Okay. Investigator Romero said, I'm going to tell Robert Drum, the main investigator, to give you access into the apartment.
Here's the issue.
Robert Drum is the one that falsified Mustafa's statement. Romero weaponizes the children, and now they're giving those individuals access to the apartment to delete the cameras inside the house.
Let me tell you, here's the issue. When they interviewed Glenn Ford in that hour-long conversation, why did they not question him about the pawn slip?
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
Why did they never question him about the pawn slip?
Well,
why did they not ask him, why did you use a false address on the pawn slip? And what were you pawning from Dorothy's apartment? They never questioned that. And that goes back to yesterday's hearing, where the judge is asking Sarah Sammy, did you investigate these alleged witnesses? And the question is, the answer is no.
She said no.
Not only is it no, it's that the police aided and helped Glenn Ford sell Dorothy's property, including light bulb cameras, an Alexa system, a Google Nest camera. I mean, you're talking about an alleged double homicide crime scene.
Well, to find out,
Unbelievable.
To find out, the prosecutor wants to she told the judge yesterday that she never looked into those individuals that are being used.
Why not?
Well, the real question is, how do you really find that out? Because according to the body cam, through the body cams, you see that those police officers are updating Prosecutor Sarah Sammy every step of the way.
Every step of the way.
Prosecutor Sarah Sammy wants to say she has no idea that the children are being weaponized against Mustafa, that witnesses are being tampered with. I mean, Investigator Davis is telling Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, we need you. We need to get our ducks in a row. We need to get Mustafa off the street. Sarah Sammy wants to say, I had no idea. Well, to get to the bottom of it, you should release the communication that Prosecutor Sarah Sammy had with those investigators.
As well as the alleged witnesses.
As well as the alleged witnesses. Now, yesterday, Judge Carol Weimer denied that motion to go through because the defense attorney wanted the communication from the prosecutor with the police, prosecutor with the individuals that are being used as witnesses. Why are you, as a judge, as a presiding judge, that's listening to children being weaponized by the police, individuals being used as fake witnesses, evidence being destroyed and tampered with, allegations that the prosecutor is involved? Because through the body cam, that's how you know she's involved. They're updating her. Why would you deny the release of the prosecutor communication? Unless you're protecting the prosecutor, unless you're protecting those police officers.
And I'll tell you, by law, the prosecutor's communication has to be released to the defendant and his attorney, because we know that these alleged witnesses, they were on social media. And what were they saying a lot on social media? They would say, first thing Monday morning, I'm calling the prosecutor. First thing on this day, I'm going to call the prosecutor. So we know for a fact that Glenn Ford, Evelyn Horton,
and we have those recordings,
Kylie Clapp, okay, they were in direct communication with Sarah Sammy. And I mean direct communication. They have her cell phone number. They were texting this prosecutor back and forth. And that's where these alleged accusations came up about me buying a rifle and 1,000 rounds. I mean,
that's right. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy is accusing you.
They were openly talking about that.
An AR-15 and 1,000 rounds.
And she retracted that statement. But I would like to know, not only do I like to know, but I think by law that has to be given to Mustafa's attorney. Where did you get that information? Who sent you that message? Okay, and that's why Sarah Sammy and any prosecutor in this case, their communications with alleged witnesses is considered exculpatory evidence. Because what did these alleged witnesses tell the prosecutors? What kind of conversation was Kylie Clapp having with Rob Davis? We know she's on speed dial on his phone. Prosecutor yesterday.
We have a body cam where, by the way, how is he on speed dial with 16-year-old Kylie when he's not part of the children forensic unit?
Not only that, but what
the children forensic unit is supposed to handle the children.
What the prosecutor said yesterday, what Sarah Sammy said to Judge Weimer, is a flat-out lie. She tells the judge that only forensic psychologists who are trained to deal with minors are the only ones that communicated with the children.
Well, we know
That is a lie.
We know that's not true because in the forensic interview,
I mean, you
14-year-old
literally have
child,
a body cam. You have a body cam.
Let me play the body cam. I think this is relevant to the conversation.
I think you should pull up the body cam. You have a body cam where Rob Davis, by the way, the same Rob Davis who was phoned by Kathy Zymus from Digital Forensics of her findings that there is audio to the dash cam. That's who she called, Rob Davis. The same Rob Davis, by the way, who asked Rob Sermon, did you do anything inappropriate to the car? And he said, yes. Okay? The same Rob Davis who told Officer Rob Sermon, as the vehicle is getting inspected, that they had an idea about this case that they should employ, and it's going to cost money. What exactly did you do with your money, Rob Davis?
Absolutely.
And who pitched into this jar of money that went in to smear Mustafa, okay, to falsify this entire case, to cover up evidence, to sell evidence at a pawn shop? And the police
specifically, where are the cameras that's in? I mean, when you have individuals that are being used as witnesses in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case that went into the apartment only to delete the Google Nest cameras and the light bulb cameras inside the apartment, and now on the other end, you have the police weaponize the children, walk them into a forensic interview, only to have those children say bad things about Mustafa.
Look,
weaponize the children against Mustafa. You're deleting the cameras inside the house.
You can't make
this
shit up.
And now they're upset because we have the Google Nest videos, and it shows that the children have been weaponized.
Not only that, but prosecutor, the first thing she said...
That is a beautiful relationship inside the apartment.
The first thing prosecutor Sarah Sammy said in court when Mustafa was arrested, she says, Your Honor, Mustafa was abusive to these kids. This is an abusive house, okay?
She says, Your Honor, I have two separate forensic interviews that will show that Mustafa, that the children are saying Mustafa have abused them, abused their mother.
Okay, let's take that. Okay, let's take that at face value, okay? The prosecutor claims Mustafa was abusive. Now, anybody, you don't have to be in law enforcement, anybody, when you know or when you find out that there was cameras in the apartment, what do you think the next step for police should be?
Definitely not kick you out of the Commonwealth Attorney Office and threaten you with the sheriff for providing her with those cameras.
I mean, definitely not let someone steal and sell the cameras to a pawn shop.
Absolutely.
Okay. Definitely not let someone, who's not on the lease, by the way, go into that apartment and clean it out. Definitely not that.
So they let the ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford, Kylie, the 16-year-old, who doesn't live with her mom, doesn't live at the apartment, lives with her dad.
She's not on the lease.
She's not on the lease. She's separated by CPS. Doesn't know anything, only to come in to manufacture lies about Mustafa, only to come in, allowed by the police to delete the cameras inside the apartment. And when you got your hand on the Google Nest videos, you went to the Commonwealth Attorney, Amy Ashworth.
Yeah, I went to the Commonwealth Attorney and I attempted to give her these videos. And by the way, honestly, I was thinking the prosecutor is lying. Maybe she doesn't know. Maybe she doesn't know. She's saying all these negative things about Mustafa. And I was able to log into his iCloud and download the Google Nest videos from his iCloud that were inside the apartment. And I have days of videos, days. This camera is on continuous recording. Anytime there's motion, it picks up a recording. And I came into this office behind you, the Commonwealth Attorney's office, and I'm there to give her videos to tell her the prosecutor, I think, doesn't know. The information she's given to the courts is inaccurate. And I have videos to prove it. And I was threatened that I was going to get forcefully removed by the sheriff's office. If I did not leave, the prosecutor does not want to talk to me. The Commonwealth Attorney will not be talking to me. Give it to your lawyer. That's what she says. Give it to your lawyer. We gave all the videos to Casey Stevens, and Casey Stevens buried them. He buried those videos.
That's right. Casey Stevens came into Casey Stevens is the first attorney, defense attorney that we hired into this case, and we found out that he has a relationship with the investigator, Robert Drum, that falsified Mustafa's statement.
I want that video.
Casey Stevens.
I want the video where Rob Davis is on speed dial.
Let me play that video for you.
Because that's going to implicate the prosecutor into lying in court. She's
see if I can
openly
pull it up.
lying to Judge Weimer. And
think-
I wonder what Judge Weimer feels about that.
Yeah, because
I
she
wonder
told-
how a judge feels when a prosecutor flat out lies to him.
That's right. She told Judge Weimer that the children were never the police never spoke to the children. The only time the children were spoken with is in the forensic interview. We have the body cams from the forensic interview, and the children are talking about that police investigator told them a whole bunch of lies about Mustafa, influencing and weaponizing these children against Mustafa. And who's saying it? The children themselves.
And to add to that, in the police reports, it states that investigator Romero did an outstanding job interviewing the children. Yeah, and then in another body cam, okay, Romero says to the dad, the children's dad, what's his name?
Divine Jones.
He tells Divine that I record all of my interactions. Anytime I'm talking to anybody, I record. So we would like to know, since Romero dealt with the kids and he's being praised for his outstanding work with the children, where are the recordings?
Where are the body cams when he handled a 9, a 10, a 14, and a 16?
Where are the recordings?
These are children. You want to tell me as a forensic unit, you sat down with children without having body cams?
That's crazy. Why would you not record these videos?
And why is it so terrifying for prosecutor Sarah Sammy to release the communication between her and the police officer and the individuals that are being used as witnesses?
I'll tell you why. Because the police spoke to the children prior to their forensic interview with the psychologist. So what did the police do? You have Romero, you have Drum, you have Davis. All of these officers, these top investigators, are abusing these children. They're trying to hammer in this narrative that Mustafa crashed the car on purpose, killed your mom and sister, and he fled the scene. He left your sister to bleed to death. Imagine telling that to a child and then saying, okay, run along now, go into this forensic interview and do your thing. Okay? They thought this information was never going to get out. It's in the reports. You know, if you lie, you're going to have to constantly remember your lie. Okay? And in this case, they lied and the narrative keeps changing. Every time you come up with something, the prosecutor changes the narrative. Every time. And I'll tell you, what's in the report is that Romero did an outstanding job with the children. So we want the videos. We're going to get them.
Specifically, when the child says, the investigator told me that Mustafa ran away, left my 5-year-old baby sister to bleed to death. The police could have saved her, but Mustafa ran away like a coward.
How long is that video?
I want to play that video real quick. Can I play the forensic interview?
I think you should play
the.
You should play Rob Davis.
Let's see.
Calling a minor.
Okay. Do me a favor. Go over to exhibit.
How long is it?
This is 2 minutes.
Okay. So again, just to clarify, yesterday, October 4th, Sarah Sammy told Judge Weimer that the only person that spoke to the children is a special forensic psychologist who is trained to deal with minors. Okay? And we're going to look at a body cam where Rob Davis has Kylie, who's a minor, on speed dial.
Absolutely, he lied.
I have to unmute this.
Go ahead.
So she had a blue.
Go on.
So this is Investigator Davis talking to the 16-year-old, who 16-year-old that lives with her dad, doesn't live at the apartment, separated by CPS, is now being brought into this case to talk about that Mustafa abused her mom, abused the kids. I remind this community, Kylie was never there.
By the way, she only met Mustafa once. She only met him once.
She admit on a recorded line that she went into the apartment. We have a body cam where the ex-boyfriend removed everything from the apartment, including the cameras, and pawned them off. So we're going to play that body cam.
So she had a blue. So she had a blue iPhone. It was an 11, I think. A blue iPhone 11 with a sparkly case and a pop socket.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right. If there was a
Hold on, Kyle. I'm gonna have to call you back, okay?
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Hold on, Kylie.
You've got her on speed dial. You got a 16-year-old on speed dial. Investigator Davis, you got a 16-year-old on speed dial. You're not with the forensic unit. You're not with the children forensic unit.
He's not the only one communicating with the minors. He's not the only one. You have Robert Drum's wife, who's in constant communication.
Oh, that's right.
With the children.
Stephanie Claiborne Drum, who doesn't work for the police department, who appears to be on three-way on the body cam.
As he's conducting an interview with Mustafa.
And she's online influencing and releasing what is supposed to be sealed from whatever her husband takes, whatever her husband, Robert Drum, has. She's releasing it on the internet and
we know
influence in this case.
We know that because there are photos that were taken by Robert Drum's Nikon camera, and those photos were leaked on TikTok. The only person that has access to Robert Drum's Nikon camera is Robert Drum.
Now, the prosecutor is terrified to release her communication. What if I tell you that the prosecutor is terrified because she's in communication with the wife of the investigator? She's in communication with the individuals that are brought into this case only to lie in this case. And now she's at a position, she's backed against the wall. By the way, those communications are going to be released.
I mean, she was shaking.
She was shaking yesterday.
You was terrified.
Let me paint the scene for everybody. You walk into court,
She tells the judge that that she's being threatened by the family. Right? She tells him.
Well, the judge asked her. She says because the defense attorney Brad Haywood is asking for the communication to get to the bottom of it, and that's in one of his motion. The Judge Weimer would say. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy would say, Your Honor, that's dangerous. It's dangerous to probe into these police officers. It's dangerous to release the communication. And then Judge Weimer would ask her, is dangerous
for who?
For who? Are you being threatened by the police? And let me set the scene for you so that you know what's happening inside the court. You have the defense attorney, you have Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, you have Judge Weimer, and right behind her is Captain Brandon Dudley with Internal Affairs.
And 9 other people in suits and badges.
All the way in the back, you have 9 other people from Internal Affairs in suits and badges that as soon as the judge said, I'm not releasing the communication, they all got up and left. That's all they were there for. That's all they wanted to make sure that doesn't happen here. Why? Why are they terrified to release the communication from the prosecutor with the police and with the individuals that are clearly lying in this case?
Plain and simple.
I mean, you've got body cams where those individuals, 1, they have extensive criminal history. 2, on body cam, they say, we were not there. I mean, they're flat out telling you we're lying in this case. And you have a situation where Commonwealth Amy Ashworth has sealed off this case. You can't verify this information. Whether it's Jason Myers, whether it's another delegate, when you probe into this case, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth will tell you.
It's sealed.
It's sealed. You don't know what I have that I'm building my case, what I'm building my case on. Well, today, this case is no longer sealed. All those body cams are on the internet. And you can verify what Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is building this case on. As a matter of fact, Amy Ashworth, star witness, is a pedophile. Is a sex offender. On a recorded line, he admits that he's drugging and fucking the 16-year-old. Kylie.
The girl that Davis is calling right there.
The girl that Investigator Davis has on speed dial. Now, I have that recorded line. A private investigator came into this case, sat down with Glenn Ford, and Glenn Ford, on a recorded line, admitted to it. We're going to play that recording. And before we play this recording, I want to play what Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is saying on an ad that's running all over this community.
Okay.
She's telling this community that she backs up Jay Jones, the attorney general that's running for election. And the reason that she's backing him up, because he's tough on sex crimes, that he's tough on pedophiles. The real question is Amy Ashworth tough on pedophiles? Is Amy Ashworth tough on sex offenders? Let's play the ad.
Her actions speak for themselves.
Well, her star witness in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case is a pedophile on a recorded line, and that's going to come into court. That's why Prosecutor Sarah Sammy was shaking yesterday.
So she will prosecute pedophiles unless they're testifying in a falsified case.
Whatever it takes.
At that point, pedophiles are okay to her. They're okay with her.
The real question is, whatever it takes, Amy Ashworth and prosecutor Sarah Sammy have to get Mustafa. And then you find out, why are they so homed in on Mustafa? Why are they have to get Mustafa? Whatever it takes, even if it have to using a pedophile, even if you have to weaponize and abuse children in the process, even if you have to chop up the vehicle, even if you have to cut the dash camera and mute it, even if all the details show this is a car accident, and when you find out that Mustafa was suing the police, $500,000, Mustafa in this community was suing the police.
$750,000 he was going to settle.
Whatever it takes, you have to get Mustafa. In this community, in Prince William County, a Mustafa has to be put back into his place. And you take a step back and you realize, what is the whole case about? Mustafa got in a vehicle accident. Oh, wait a minute. Who's his girlfriend? Oh, his girlfriend, a Mustafa, and his girlfriend is white. Mustafa's girlfriend died in a car accident. The 5-year-old baby died in a car accident. I guess it doesn't fucking matter anymore that this is a car accident, because a white girl died in this case, and a Mustafa was driving the car.
He
survived. Doesn't matter anymore that this is a car accident.
Isn't that what Chad Mason told Mustafa's mother? Isn't that what he told her at the hospital?
That's exactly what he told her at the hospital.
Wasn't he angry that Mustafa survived?
The same Chad Mason. The same Chad Mason that got on the stand and admitted to Judge Carol Weimer that he cut and muted the dash camera. The same Chad Mason that when he talked to Mustafa, and Mustafa in the hospital after he woke up from a coma, he's telling him, "I don't know what happened. I think there was something wrong with my car." They go and immediately crush and stage that vehicle.
Same Chad Mason that falsifies Mustafa's reaction in the hospital. Same Chad Mason that abused and interrogated Mustafa after the paramedic injected him with fentanyl. That Chad Mason.
Amy Ashworth.
I mean, think of the optics, okay? You have a person who gets involved in a car accident. He's in a coma. And then the medics inject him with fentanyl as he's on the hospital bed. You get a piece of shit like Chad Mason and Officer Matthew Sermon come in and interrogate this individual. They lie to him. They lie to Mustafa. They tell him your family's okay. They're alive. They're being taken care of. They're in a different hospital. And Mustafa is pleading. He says, "Can I just go see her? I just want to go see her. I want to be with her." Okay? And the officer says, "Don't worry about it. We're taking care of them. We are taking care of your girlfriend. Don't worry about it. She's okay." For 3 hours, they're
waiting for that fentanyl to kick in, the 50 mcg of fentanyl.
I mean, it's complete
that they inject
BS.
him in, and then he walks in with his body cam, hoping that Mustafa is so checked out that when he finally drops this news on Mustafa, that Mustafa is so checked out from the fentanyl that Mustafa is not going to have a reaction, so he can record it on his body cam and run back to prosecutor Sarah Sammy and says, "Look, this monster didn't care. I got it on body cam. He didn't care about his family."
By the way.
And then when he find out that he is broken and is crying, they remove their body cam.
He muted.
And today I have that body cam.
Look.
He falsified it on paper.
Look.
And they removed the body cam. And they're so upset that I have that body cam today.
Matthew Sermon mutes his body cam when Mustafa is telling Chad Mason, "I want to be with my girlfriend. I want to be with Dorothy." Matthew mutes his body cam. You can see Chad Mason pointing at Mustafa and yelling at him, telling him to shut up. He tells him to shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
Why the fuck is your body cam muted when you're interacting with Mustafa? Oh, you don't like the reaction you're getting. You don't like that this man is asking about his loved one that was in the car with him.
That was a Brady violation that went through yesterday.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Sarah Sammy wants to tell Judge Carol Weimer what? What does she want to tell him?
She said, "I gave the defense attorney all the body cam."
I'm talking about how the body cams operate. She wants to tell him there's a buffer, that the body cam mutes by itself, that it unmutes by itself. We clearly see...
Judge Weimer was really upset yesterday.
We clearly see Matthew Sermon unmute his fucking body cam when Mustafa is having a reaction, when they're talking about Dorothy, and he wanting to be with her.
Judge Weimer was really upset yesterday because Sarah Sammy is telling Judge Weimer, who used to be a Prince William County police officer, Judge Weimer, Judge Carol Weimer.
Why mute it? Why mute it?
She's trying to tell him, that Judge Weimer was so upset. He's like, you mean to tell me that the body cams just automatically know when a situation comes up? I mean, he was so angry yesterday.
Look, I'll say this about the body cam and this whole interaction with Mustafa under fentanyl in the hospital. They were performing for the body cam.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why is Matthew Sermon, is that his name, Sermon or Surdam? I can't.
Surdam.
Okay. Why is Matthew Surdam constantly muting and unmuting? It's like he's unsure if he should be capturing the audio or not capturing the audio. And it's like when Mustafa's saying something, he's muting his body cam. He's constantly, his finger is on the little trigger. Okay. And then you have Chad Mason also muting and unmuting inside the room. Why are you muting and unmuting inside the hospital?
Because Officer Chad Mason, I've got a portion of a body cam where Chad Mason, the same officer that admitting to cutting and muting the dash camera, he tells Officer Matthew Surdam, make sure your body cam is off for all of it.
That's interesting. Did Sarah Sammy didn't tell that to the judge? That they're specifically instructing other officers on what to do with their body cams when dealing with Mustafa. I thought she said there was a buffer, that this is automated, that the body cam automatically unmutes after a certain time. No, he's actively telling his fellow officer when to mute and not to capture something on body cam. Why not? You're performing for the body cam.
Absolutely.
And not only that, but you are performing for Sarah Sammy. And that's why her communication is key to this case, okay? They're actively calling Sarah Sammy and asking her for advice. What should we do in this case, okay? Chad Mason ripped out the wire to the body cam. He cut it. And he notified Sarah Sammy, okay? We have to know what Sarah Sammy told him to do after he did that. It's key. It's exculpatory evidence to the defendant and his attorney. It has to be released one way or another.
This is Chad Mason when he walks up to Robert Drum and he tells him, it's on camera. Now, this is the same Chad Mason that the police department, before they uploaded the body cams to the server, these body cams are cut into snippets. Portions are cut, uploaded. Some are muted. The original body cam is not there. So what's being uploaded to the server, evidence.com, the police department server, is edited body cams from Chad Mason and other police officers.
So they took his video.
They're cherry picking. They're removing anything that's incriminating against the police in this case, and they're uploading it to evidence.com. They're putting it in a separate file.
Anything that shows they were targeting Mustafa the moment they found out that was him in the accident. Anything to show that the police were actively targeting Mustafa in those videos. You're going to play this video. You have, I think, about 6 or 7 other officers that were recording on the scene, and their body cam captures
the whole thing.
The time when they come in until the time that everything settles.
Yeah.
Yet you have Casey Fine's body cam muted the entire time. Why is Casey Fine's body camera muted? What kind of buffer mutes for 45 to an hour?
Mohammed, obviously what they've done, they took that body cam, the police department, they took that body cam and muted it.
And by the way, Casey
and then
Fine's,
uploaded it to the server.
The significance.
So that the prosecutor can, they're doing.
Here, listen to this. The significance of Casey Fine's body cam being muted, him out of all the officers on the scene, he's the only one with his body cam muted the entire time. And I'll tell you why. He's the one that told Robert Drum Mustafa's a drug user. Okay? He's the one that told Robert Drum Mustafa's a drug user.
He influenced the whole entire...
They began this narrative. The moment Casey Fines made that statement, Robert Drum says, wherever the fuck that guy goes, I want his blood.
I want to play that body cam for you.
Now listen to this. You don't find it odd that out of, 8, 9 officers, Casey Fines is the only one muted? And I'll tell you why. Because he was going around to anybody that was a witness, he was telling them, this guy's a drug user. So whatever you write in your statement, don't forget, This guy did it on purpose. He was on drugs. That girl, that baby that just died, it's in your hands. You can take him out. And that's why his body cam is muted, because he's having these conversations actively with members of the community that were around when the accident happened.
So Mustafa is in a coma in front of his vehicle, laying on the ground. Mustafa gets in a vehicle accident. Mustafa gets in a vehicle accident. He loses his family in a car accident. He's in a coma. He's in front of his vehicle. I mean, on these body cam, you see Mustafa flat out of it. He's in and out of consciousness. At one point, he goes into a coma, then gets helicoptered to the hospital. While you have an officer that's going around, he first tells the main investigator, knowing him, he's on drugs.
And he's laughing, by the way.
He's laughing. I mean, let's watch that body cam.
He's laughing. It's not like you say,
Do me a favor, go over to exhibits.
Oh, he was sensitive. He was emotional. No, he's laughing. You just saw a child in that state. You just saw a woman in that state and after an accident, a horrible accident, and you're laughing with the main investigator, manufacturing probable cause against Mustafa, who's laying on the ground, and you're going around to other people that said, "Did you see the accident?" Well, remember, this guy's always on drugs. I saw him on drugs a few days ago. He was out of it. That's what he's telling people. I mean, that's crazy.
Let's watch that body cam.
45, 20, that'll be 3. I'm already here. And then Mason and Wilhelm are on their way. All right, sure.
Take pictures while you do anything else.
No, we'll figure out where the bodies are going in a minute. Witnesses, anybody say what happened?
Yeah, there's a lady straight over here in the black. She saw everything.
Okay.
I believe. This car is the at fault. This is the driver of that vehicle. Okay.
Thank you. So at fault so far. Crossed over, what, oncoming traffic?
I'm not 100% sure. Knowing him though, it's probably drug related.
Okay. If that's the case.
Look, Mustafa is laying in front of his vehicle in a coma. He gets in a tragic vehicle accident. He loses his family in a car accident. Mustafa is in a coma in front of his vehicle. That's Mustafa, by the way. That right there is Mustafa. That right there. Let me zoom in. That right there. Here is Mustafa.
Oh, and Romero told the children that Mustafa fled the scene, leaving their baby sister to bleed to death? What's going on here?
You have officers
police actively abusing children in this case?
But Commonwealth Amy Ashworth wants to tell this community that she supports Jay Jones, the coming up Attorney General, because he's tough on pedophile. Well, Amy Ashworth is using a pedophile in this case. The ex-boyfriend, who says Mustafa doesn't even know me, admitted on a recorded line that he is a pedophile. Now, here in this body cam, Mustafa is laying in front of his vehicle in a coma. You have an officer that's influencing this case, telling the main investigator, knowing him, he's on drugs, laughing. Now, wait a minute. Then he mutes his body cam, goes around to every person that's on the scene and tell him, knowing him, he's on drugs.
He's a drug user. He's on drugs.
And Sarah Sammy, I mean, when this came up yesterday in a Brady violation, Sarah Sammy tells the judge, Your Honor, Casey Fines knows Mustafa from the Stafford situation.
She said from Stafford.
From the Stafford incident. Wait a minute. Well, let's talk about Stafford. I mean, isn't that what I've been saying for the past 2.5 years? That Mustafa is targeted because of the Stafford situation. Wait a minute. What is the Stafford situation? Oh, that's right. Mustafa was suing the police for $500,000 for entering our house without a warrant.
So hold on a second.
Taking over the house without a warrant, and then they turn around and say, oops, we accidentally came into your house. The fuck are you talking about? What is the Stafford situation?
I mean, they took over your house for 12 hours.
Mohammed, Sarah Sammy is telling the judge yesterday exactly what I've been talking about for the past 2.5 years, that Mustafa is a target for the police. They targeted Mustafa for the past,
But she says
and then,
Casey Fines is in talks with Stafford County.
And then she turns around and then she tells him when that didn't work, she tells him She turns around and she tells him, well, Your Honor, the reason that Casey Fine is telling Investigator Romero, Investigator Drum, that Mustafa is on drugs is because he found weed inside the car.
Okay, hold on a second.
Wait a minute.
We're looking at the video of what he told him. Why did he not say right there that, hey, Drum, this guy is a drug user. I just found weed in his car. Why is he not saying that?
He said, I've interacted with Mustafa.
I mean, this video speaks for itself.
He was on drugs. Wait a minute. Mustafa does not have a history of being on drugs. There is no incident with drugs. This guy is making it up.
Forget all
Where
that.
are the police reports?
The prosecutor is telling the judge.
Where is your interaction with Mustafa that he's on drugs? You're just making that up to the investigator to influence the case.
Look, this goes
immediately.
back.
Investigator Robert Drum, he's like, whatever the fuck that guy goes, follow him. I need a blood draw. And then you find out, I mean,
this goes back to Sarah Sammy's communication.
Muhammad,
what kind of communication did you have with Casey Fines? Where did you come up with that?
Right here is before they searched the car.
Amar, he's literally telling him the reason why I say he's on drugs, not because he found something in the car. He's telling him, I interacted with him, and he was out of it. He wasn't driving, but he was out of it. So where is that report?
Muhammad, exactly. That's at 6:56. Okay? The vehicle was searched at night.
That's right.
I have a body cam where the vehicle is searched at night, and what they have in the car is hemp. Mustafa's toxicology report show no drugs, no alcohol.
Well, he wasn't charged with possession. He wasn't charged with possession. Clearly, it's not drugs.
Exactly.
Clearly, it's not drugs.
What Prosecutor Sarah Sammy is telling the judge yesterday was a complete lie.
Yeah,
she's trying to justify this body cam.
She's trying to justify that interaction.
By lying to the judge. Mustafa's toxicology shows 0.003. His girlfriend has cancer.
So Brad
and she smokes hemp.
Brad is making the point that Mustafa was targeted. There was a bias by police from the moment police identified this was Mustafa. Exactly. There was a bias. There was a targeted effort to make him guilty no matter what. From the beginning. I mean, he's literally saying, by the way.
Well, I have another body cam.
By the way, let me just mention this. They haven't scanned the car. They haven't gotten a statement from Mustafa. They haven't looked at the data recorder. They haven't looked at the dash camera. They haven't interviewed anybody on the scene. Okay.
And immediately they jump into...
And he's right there in that body cam. Casey Fines is telling Drum, this guy is a drug user. He did it on purpose. And Drum, who's the primary investigator on this case, says wherever the fuck that guy goes, I want his blood.
Muhammad, this is a toxicology from Mustafa.
I mean, it cannot be any more clearer than that Mustafa was condemned guilty the moment Casey Fines made his statement.
Absolutely.
He was guilty. And then Rob Sermon, in another body cam, on the scene, says, oh, shit, I didn't know that was him. We were briefed about him. And then he mutes his body cam.
Do me a favor, go over to exhibit. I want to play that body cam.
To Sarah Sammy, was that another buffer where his body cam muted after he said he knew Mustafa?
Clearly, you see that he turned off the audio.
The police were briefed about Mustafa. By the way, I'll say this. The prosecutor has to give Brad Haywood what this briefing was about. That happened months before the car accident. What kind of briefing do they have at Prince William County Police about Mustafa? That has to be made public. It has to be given to the lawyer. Because, again, it's exculpatory evidence. It shows police had a bias, okay, and they were targeting Mustafa.
She tells Judge Weimer, Your Honor, it's dangerous to probe into these police officers. It's dangerous to find out what they said to each other. It's dangerous to release my communication with the police. The judge was so...
It's dangerous for who?
That's exactly what the judge said. Judge Weimer said, it's dangerous for who? Are you being threatened by the police? She says, no, Your Honor, no. And she started like...
He said by police?
By police. He said by the police.
Why would he make that?
And then she says, absolutely not, Your Honor. I am being threatened by the family. Wait a minute. Whoa. What are you talking about?
You mean the statements you retracted? Or was this prior,
you just argued a point with the defense attorney that you do not have a bias against the family. You do not have a bias in this case. And hence you retracted your statement that Mustafa brother, bought an AR-15 and 1,000 rounds. And then you turn around and you say, the family is threatening me. Wait a minute.
hold on. Let's go the hypothetical route.
It doesn't even make sense.
Let's go the hypothetical route. She's saying it's dangerous to find out why the police had a bias, why they were targeting Mustafa. It's dangerous because the family is threatening her. How is her conducting interviews or gathering information from the police, how is that dangerous to the police by the family? How is this connected in any way, shape, or form? How is it connected? How is that connected to the prosecutor?
There's a protective order in place. The communication are not going out to the public. I mean, in this case, there's a protective order.
But what's the threat, though?
I mean, here,
what's the threat?
I mean, why is she so terrified? By the way, the communication are going to Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Haywood. The communication is not going up on Facebook. The communication is not going out to the community. The communication is not going out to the family.
It's going to the attorney.
It's going to the attorney. What is Prosecutor Sarah Sammy so terrified that Brad Haywood is going to see? What kind of communication did she have with the police? What kind of communication did she have with those individuals that are brought into this case? Why is she terrified to release that communication?
I have a theory. Why she's scared her communication is going to get to the attorney. And my theory is she instructed these alleged witnesses on what to say. She's giving them active instructions on how to manufacture probable cause to hold the man in jail. And that's really what it comes down to. She's instructing the police on how to hide the corruption, how to hide how they tampered with evidence.
How to cut and mute these body cams.
She's instructing them that I've sealed the material. Whatever you've said on the body cam, even though you muted, if you missed anything, don't worry, I got your back. I've already sealed all the body cams, so don't worry about it. Whatever you do with this minor, whatever you talk about with the kids, nobody's going to see it. Oh, and I'll give you another bonus. We have Casey Stevens on the case, and he's on our side.
The defense attorney that stole our money and has a relationship with...
Mustafa has no attorney. Don't worry about it. Casey Stevens is not going to push back. He's not going to probe. He's going to hand Mustafa to us on a silver platter. Okay, so don't worry. That's her communication with the police. She's actively telling them how to hide the corruption, how to hide how they tampered with his dash camera. She's actively telling them to chop up the car. She's telling them Mustafa's car was in the shop recently. Chop up the car to muddy up the waters so that nobody could come in and say, oh, well, this was prior to the accident. You can't say that anymore because the police can come out and say, oh, no, we rolled the dash. Why is the vehicle smashed in here? Oh, we did that. We smashed it in order to get the
They're
ATM.
staging the vehicle.
I mean,
you have pictures of the vehicle before and after. Clearly, they staged the vehicle.
But they cannot get away with it because the reports clearly identify Robert Drum scanning the vehicle on site. He scanned it with the Faro machine that takes measurements of every millimeter in that car. It takes thousands of photos of that car, and he took those photos on the scene. By the way, I'm looking at 811 pages of police reports and discovery. I don't see anywhere where he scanned the car. The data is not there.
I mean,
so why is the prosecutor hiding the Faro scan that Robert Drum did on the scene, and they want to let another expert come in and scan the car that they've chopped up already?
Well, Robert Drum admit on a body cam that he scanned the vehicle with a Faro machine.
Bullshit.
What do you mean?
You cannot hide the Faro scan that Robert Drum did on the scene. That has to be given to the attorney.
That has to be released.
That's exculpatory evidence.
Specifically, where Robert Drum is admitting to scanning the vehicle. He said, I had the vehicle on scene for multiple hours, and we see through the drone that they have. We have a drone.
They took drone footage?
Yep.
We have the drone footage, but where is the scan? Where is the scan? And I'll tell you where it's sitting. It's sitting right next to Romero's body cam. It's sitting right next to Chad Mason's full body cam. It's sitting right next to Cruz's body cam. It's sitting next to
in a separate incriminating file.
And it's also sitting with Andrew Margiotta's body cam that they were hiding for 2.5 years, and it took Brad Haywood fighting tooth and nail to get that body cam.
The bottom of the line is the bottom line is we're gonna get those communications.
We're gonna get it.
Okay, we're gonna.
Well, the lawyer's gonna get it. The lawyer's gonna get it.
Brad Haywood is absolutely absolutely is not going to let go of
By
the
law, he has
communication.
to
By
get it.
law, absolutely.
By law, he has
I mean,
to
you
get
want
it.
to get to the bottom of what's going on in this case. The details show this is a car accident. The details show that the police targeted Mustafa. The details show that officers admitting to cutting and muting the dash camera. You have evidence that they crushed and staged the car. The children are weaponized, abused in the process. I mean, I'm looking at body cam where an officer comes up to another officer and he says, I've been briefed about this cat.
Exactly. That briefing.
How do you explain that? You want to tell me you haven't been targeting Mustafa? Mustafa was in an active lawsuit against the police. You want to tell me that they don't have private investigators? They're not actively putting you under a radar? A Mustafa in this community has to be put back into his place. And now you're looking at a situation, a car accident that you're taking advantage of. Let's play the body cam. Do me a favor. Go over to exhibits.
This is Rob Sermon.
Rob Sermon.
Officer Rob Sermon. Who actually, by the way, admitted to doing something inappropriate to Mustafa's
Oh, that's
car.
right. I have another body cam where he hit this officer and investigator Davis, the same one that's calling Rob Davis, the same one that's calling the 16-year-old that's not in a forensic unit, Rob Davis, the same one that's talking to the ex-boyfriend, that's telling him, we need to get Mustafa off the street. We need you. It's talking about pumping money into Mustafa's case. It's going to require spending money.
And he asked this officer that we're going to watch, he asked him, did you do something inappropriate to Mustafa's car? And his response was yes. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And now he's talking about he was in a briefing. He was in a briefing about Mustafa. And he just recognized, oh, shit, that's the guy we had a briefing about. Let's play that.
I talked to Grantham on the other one, and he said that it looked like. So we're good. We're good.
Sorry.
Everything's
We'll call you next time.
Hey, can I be honest with you? I don't even know that cat. I do now. I remember now that it was brought up.
I didn't even know this guy. I do now.
He said, can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Oh, please be honest. Rob Sermon.
Let's listen to that one more time.
Be honest with us. Tell us more. Tell us more.
Sarah Sammy is terrified that this is going to come up, that details of the communication and the police reports and whatever they're talking about is going to come up.
By the way, he's on the phone. You want to bet he's on the phone with Sarah Sammy?
I have body cams where when you zoom in, they're communicating.
It says Sarah Sammy.
It says Sarah Sammy. How do you think I have her phone number? I have her phone number through the body cam. I'm looking at these officers updating prosecutor Sarah Sammy every step of the way.
Even at the hospital when they're interrogating him.
If you zoom in on these body cam, you'll see Sarah Sammy and you'll see her number.
Actually,
Why is Sarah Sammy so terrified to release her communication with these officers that have weaponized and falsified? Falsified the case.
I was going to say,
weaponized the children.
I was going to say, you can even, if you slow down the camera enough, you can actually read some of her text messages.
You can read some of the text messages.
It's crazy. And now she
was shaking. She was shaking in court. I mean, you should have seen. She stood up and she's like, "It's dangerous, Your Honor. It's dangerous to release." The judge is like, "What the hell is going on?
Like
are you terrified?" He's like, "Are you terrified from the police?"
She literally grew a beard on the spot.
That little she looks like a little Pakistani boy. I swear to God, she's
from the fear.
Originally, she's Persian. That little hairy monster, I kid you not, showed up in court yesterday. I mean, I think she's losing weight. I think at one point she looked like she had a wig because when she turns around, there's like a giant bald spot.
You think it's too much Ozempic?
I don't know what she's on, but to be honest with you, she looked like a little Pakistani boy.
Why you keep saying Pakistan? Why Pakistani?
I don't know, man. I have like this image in my head of a gothic Pakistani little boy.
Pakistan.
That's what she looked like, and she shows up.
You ever seen that? I've never heard that before.
She shows up. That image is stuck in my head, and I can't get it out of my head. I couldn't even eat yesterday. I was trying to eat lunch, and I was just like,
you think about gothic Pakistanis?
That's what showed up in court. I remember when she first showed up.
But
she actually looked normal.
Why not a gothic Persian? Why a Pakistani?
It has to. I mean, that's what she looked like. I mean, I know you're trespassed from court. You got to see this for yours. I wish you were there. You would have just laughed.
I have to see it. I mean,
you would have just laughed.
You think I can maybe make an appointment and talk?
Maybe.
Well, maybe I can go in and say, I want to give you the Google Nest. Will you take it now?
I mean, I'll tell you something that's really funny. I'm in court. And
isn't she like the leader of the Muslim community?
The dark nipple people? Listen, look. Look, I mean,
isn't she a leader of the Manassas mosque, the Darnur?
A lot of Pakistani skinny bald kid with
her
a
uncle
wig on
is like
is the
Rafi?
leader of the dark nipple. Great. Listen, man.
Isn't Rafi her uncle? Or
He
raised
said
her?
that he raised her. He babysat that little Pakistani boy. That little boy used to sit on his lap.
He grew her into the man she
grew her into the man that she's proud. She is today. I mean, I wonder what her mother or his mother thinks about him today. When she's probably the mother is probably tuned into this podcast, and
I don't think she thinks highly of her.
I think
because abusing children, protecting a pedophile,
absolutely,
falsifying and covering up for corruption.
Absolutely.
I don't think any parent wants to wake up and say,
you,
"Hey, Sammy, good job on covering up for those cops."
I promise you, if you see the mother at the mosque, she'll tell you, "I am so sorry. My little boy is a cunt."
I think she's going to say, "I don't have a child."
She'll tell you, "My little boy is a cunt. I grew a cunt." And
I grew a
cunt. Let's watch this body cam.
No, why don't you okay, go ahead and play that.
I just want to go ahead
and play it out.
Okay. I just want to watch that video one more time.
Let's watch Rob's sermon. I keep mixing Matthew Surdam. Matthew Surdam is the guy that interrogated Mustafa with Chad Mason at the hospital. This is Matthew's sermon, the fat ass that said he tampered with Mustafa's car.
Do I have to do what I did with Elaine Jarvis and maybe come in as sermon? I mean, I'm already coming in as Chad Mason. I think the next podcast, I'm going to come in as Chad Mason, and you're going to be talking to Officer Chad Mason, and you get to question him about cutting and muting the dash camera.
And by the way, for anybody watching and thinking Amar is going to be what? Chad Mason? This is going to be based on real events. Nothing in this reenactment is added. Nothing is faked. It's strictly from the transcript.
The transcript.
Transcript that is a official record of the judicial system from the circuit court.
That's right. I got my hand on the transcript, and we're going to be reenacting.
So for anybody that missed that day in court, for anyone that missed it for whatever reason, you were intimidated, the sheriff's office wouldn't let you in, you're going to rewatch it one more
have
time.
The audio recording from what Chad Mason said in court, what took place in court. I have the actual transcript, and I'm going to get to be on.
Can you airdrop that?
Please, for the love of God, airdrop the picture for me.
We just found Sarah Sammy's Facebook picture.
Oh, God. I mean, I'm doing my best to get that image out of my head from court the other day, and now here you give me another picture. I mean, are you trying to not have me eat anymore? I mean, I'll tell you what's really funny. I walk into court. Look, I walk into court. Did I get it? I walk into court. Judge Weimer is right there. Sarah Sammy is right here. Okay, and Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Haywood. And I'm sitting there with my notebook, and I'm taking notes. Mohammed. I'm sitting there with my notes, and I'm taking notes. And you look at Sarah Sammy, you look at that little boy, and she's looking at the judge. She's like, "Why is he here? Your Honor, he took the file." That's what she wanted to say.
Can you pull a picture up and say that again?
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Pull up the picture.
You have to.
I want to imagine.
You have to text me. You have to text me that picture. She's looking at the judge, Judge Weimer.
You have to repeat that with the picture up so that I can imagine because I wasn't there.
You have to text me the picture
because I wasn't there. So I want to
Oh my God. Okay. Why would you do this to me? I mean, this is a problem.
This is tough.
Now you know what I'm talking about.
You might
do me a favor.
Put it up.
Please do, because I don't want to be the only one that's looking at this. This is what I looked at inside the court.
Can you say that again, Your Honor? Why is
I walk into? Okay, I walk in. I'm just painting a scene for you. I walk into court. Judge Weimer is right there.
Is this from her wedding?
Prosecutor. This thing is right there. This is the prosecutor, Sarah Sammy.
Is this from her wedding?
And she's I'm sitting there taking notes, and she's looking at Judge Weimer, and she's looking at me, and she wants to tell Judge Weimer, Your Honor, why is he here? He took the file. The reason that you have a podcast is because of that guy right there. She's terrified.
Zoom in a little bit. Your Honor,
why
is he here?
Your Honor, why is he here? He took the... Well, lady, whatever you are.
Listen, whatever it is, all these jokes aside, your communication by law has to be released to the attorney. It's exculpatory evidence. When you're coaching alleged witnesses, when you're coaching officers tampering with evidence, when you're coaching them as the prosecutor, that communication by law has to be released.
Always going to be
attorney.
released. Oh, 100% is going to be released.
It's got by law. It has to be released.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
Now, don't go around and start deleting stuff, okay? Because the attorney is going to get it from the original source.
What did Judge Weimer tell Prosecutor Sarah Sammy? There will be consequences.
There will be consequences.
You should have seen how this prosecutor started shaking. She got up. She's like, "Is the camera on?" She's like, "Consequences, consequences. Absolutely, there's going to be consequences." I mean, you think Judge Weimer is protecting?
You're not immune.
You are not immune
to breaking the law.
And by the way, if she thinks Judge Weimer is protecting her, there's a case being built.
Think again.
Think again. If you think internal affairs is
one more time.
If you think internal affairs is protecting you, they will absolutely throw those officers under the bus. They will absolutely throw you under the bus. It's coming up.
I mean,
you're
job.
backed against the wall, and there's nothing you can do. You're gonna have to release your communication.
By the way, their job is to catch corruption. That's their job. It's in the title. Their internal affairs. Okay? And if you think internal affairs of Prince William County is going to cover up tampering with evidence, abusing children, letting a pedophile go just to keep him as a way, you're in La La Land.
You know, I'll tell you something that's really interesting.
You talked about Doodley yesterday.
I'll tell
Captain
you.
Doodley?
You think Doodley is the only person that's watching this?
No.
Even if Doodley wants to cover it, he's got a higher up. There's someone else that's watching this case. There's too much out there that you can no longer put back in the box.
You can't contain it. You cannot contain
18 Brady violation went through yesterday, and you cannot say these are frivolous Brady violations. The judge approved them. We have the body cams where children are being weaponized in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, abused.
You know, I'll tell you something.
A pedophile being used by Commonwealth Amy Ashworth as the star witness and on a body cam that's already out on the internet. He says, I was not there. I am lying in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case.
You know,
I'm manufacturing probable cause. The vehicle is crushed and staged. The dash camera, your own officers admitted to cutting and muting the dash camera.
You know, I'll tell you this. This takes me back to our conversation with, at the time it was First Sergeant, now he's Lieutenant, Sean Shelton.
Yep.
Okay? Now, I mean, I really like the conversation we had with Sean Shelton.
Absolutely.
Okay?
I remember that. I remember that conversation.
You know, thinking back to that conversation, okay, I remember when we talked to him after the fact, after the letter was issued, after Mustafa was indicted, okay, after he said he phoned the Commonwealth attorney and notified her that they're investigating Robert Drum, which by the way, Mustafa's attorney is entitled to what that communication was with the Commonwealth attorney. What did you say to the Commonwealth attorney when you found out, and we gave you evidence that the officer falsified his statements? That's one. But he said something very specific, okay? He said, we asked him, what is the next step? I mean, what you found out this officer falsified the warrant, he falsified the statements. Aren't you going to release him? He says, well, I mean, that's up to the Commonwealth. Your beef is not with us. Your beef is with the Commonwealth attorney.
He said, I notified Amy Ashworth.
Look, and he said, your attorney has to file it with the court. And
absolutely.
Sadly, it took 2.5 years to finally get somebody that is honest, someone that will not stand for BS, okay, and say, what the fuck are you guys doing with my client? What the fuck are you guys doing? This is complete BS. There's laws on the books that go against what the hell you guys are doing, okay? And I want all of it. I'm not going to stand for any of it, okay? And he's going to get all of it. I promise you that.
Chief of Police Peter Newsham.
He's going to get all that.
Chief of Police Peter Newsham, 2.5 years ago, you have a video where he said, I am comfortable with your brother
being more than comfortable
with your brother
him.
being charged with murder. Based on the information that we have, well, Chief of Police Peter Newsham, where are you today from the 18 Brady violation that were filed in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, where 2.5 years ago you said you're very comfortable?
The question is, are you still comfortable?
Are you still comfortable, sir? Do you still sleep at night?
The camera's
knowing
right there.
That you are directly involved?
Hold on a second. Go ahead. The camera's right there.
Chief of Police Peter Newsham.
The camera's right there.
Do you still stand behind what you said 2.5 years ago? That you're more than comfortable with Mustafa Al-Jazari being charged with murder. 18 Brady violations were filed yesterday, approved by Judge Carol Weimer, that children have been abused by the police, weaponized by the police. That's child abuse.
Chad
Children,
Mason,
a 9, a 10, a 14, a 16 were abused by the police, weaponized against Mustafa in this case, that you're so comfortable. Chad Mason cut and muted the dash camera in Mustafa's vehicle. Are you comfortable? Are you still comfortable,
with your officer
sir?
violating chain of custody?
Are you comfortable with your officer violating chain of custody? And today we're finding out that he cut and muted that dash camera. Are you comfortable with Mustafa's vehicle cut and chopped up and staged by the police? Are you comfortable that Mustafa's statement has been falsified by Robert Drum? Well,
here.
What is this?
You're talking to Chief Newsham, man.
You're talking about, I mean, I'll tell you what's really funny. You're talking about the transcript. I wanted to have that conversation with his captain with Internal Affairs.
Fuck, I'll say it. Would you like the transcript?
Would you like the transcript?
Would you like the transcript to Chad Mason openly talking on official record that he violated department policy and whoops, I didn't know.
Would you
For 12 years. How long? 14, 12?
14.
14 years. Your officer has been tampering with evidence, and he claims he didn't know the rules to how to handle digital evidence. Would you like the transcript? Chief Newsham, would you like the transcript to one of your top officers, Chad Mason, tampering with the dash camera? Would you like the transcript? I'll turn it back to Omar.
No,
go ahead.
We're gonna watch an ad that is going up around this community. The Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is backing up Attorney General Jay Jones, who's asking this community to be elected as the Attorney General. And specifically, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth emphasizes that the reason that she's backing up Jay Jones is because he's tough on sex offenders. He's tough on pedophiles. Now, when we come back, we're going to watch this ad, and I'm going to have it play. We're going to take a 10-minute break. I'm going to let it play out.
We're going to let it repeat.
We're going to let it repeat.
That? Yeah.
I want this community to really take that in, to really understand and take what Commonwealth's Amy Ashworth is talking about. Because when we come back, we're going to play a specific audio where Amy Ashworth is using a pedophile in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case as her star witness.
I also...
So the real question is, what does Amy Ashworth really think about pedophiles? What's her position on sex offenders and pedophiles? Because she's using a pedophile in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Play the ad?
Play the ad.
Okay. Don't forget to share the channel. We're going to take a 10-minute break. Don't forget to share the channel. Share the channel. Hit the like button. Support our podcast through the Cash App. Our Cash App is Not Boring Pod. You can support this channel directly through YouTube. And hit the like button and share. Share it on your Facebook. Share it on your Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're We're going to take a 10-minute break.
Share this channel because we're demanding accountability, and the fake news media is not going to do it for us. Not
Absolutely.
in Virginia.
Absolutely. Definitely not NBC4. Who's supposed to be on your side? Definitely not.
The media is not doing their job here.
Definitely not Channel 7.
They're
they say they're on your side, but they're absolutely not on this community side.
They're on the side of corruption. They're on the side of hiding the truth. They're on the side of cover-ups. I mean, think of how easy it is for a Commonwealth attorney who's defending and protecting a pedophile to call up Julie Carey and say, hey, don't show up to the 18 Brady violations being filed today. Don't show up. We don't want it on the news. And what is...
Our police are being exposed for violating, abusing, and weaponizing
what
children.
Does Julie Carey do?
So don't tell this community that our police officers are abusing children.
She tells Julie Carey, why don't you stay asleep today? And Julie Carey is happy to stay asleep that day.
She's in the back pocket of the police department.
She doesn't show
She's
up.
protecting those police officers.
Okay, but she showed up. She showed up when the prosecutor accused Mustafa of allegedly making a threat to a correctional officer inside the jail. She showed up on that day. Out of, I don't know how many hearings he's had. He's had over 20 hearings.
Well, where is Julie Carey?
And she showed up that time.
Where is Julie Carey? I have the CCTV video from the jail. I have the witness, a witness inside the jail.
She doesn't want to hear that.
She doesn't want to hear that the jail and
Not
the prosecutor made that up.
By the way, it's not that she doesn't want to hear it. She heard it.
She absolutely. I mean, it's
she
on the
heard
internet.
it, but she doesn't want to report on it.
Absolutely.
Because she's actively getting paid by the police. She's actively getting paid by the Commonwealth attorney, and she gets exclusive access to the things she wants. She gets perks. Perks for covering up and for doing the bidding of criminals wearing a badge. And I'll leave it at that.
On that note, we'll come back in 10 minutes. We're going to take a short break. We're going to play the ad of Amy Ashworth. Don't forget to share the channel. Hit the like button. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Weimer, you're under the microscope.
As a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's as a sheriff, as a prosecutor.
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor.
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor.
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor.
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor.
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general.
So he has the experience.
Who has experience?
No, they're saying like he has the experience.
I mean, I think Commonwealth Amy Ashworth actually hurts Jay Jones by running an ad saying that she supports Jay Jones. I mean, when Jay Jones finds out what she's doing in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, I think he's going to pull this ad down.
They look like AI, by the way.
They do look like AI.
It looks like fake videos.
It really does. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cams. Judge Carol Weimer, you're under the microscope. Now, we're watching an ad that's playing all over the community that we have Jay Jones running and is asking for the community to elect him as the next Attorney General. And he's going up against Jason Myers. Now, in this ad, you have a Commonwealth attorney that says, I support Jay Jones as the Attorney General because he's tough on sex crimes. He's tough on pedophiles. Well, what if I tell you, what if you find out that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is using a sex offender as the star witness in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? As the star witness. And then you find out on a body cam that the star witness says, Mustafa doesn't know me. So wait a minute. Mustafa doesn't know you. This star witness, the ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford, says, admit on a recorded line to a private investigator that he is sleeping and drugging a 16-year-old.
Well,
now,
let's get this straight. So, yesterday, according to my notes, Brad Haywood, the defense attorney, tells the judge that the prosecutor's alleged witnesses are criminals. And they have a criminal background. Okay? And their credibility is shot. And Sarah Sammy tells the judge, well, actually, the judge asks her, he says, did you look into these alleged witnesses? Did you look into their background?
And prosecutor Sarah Sammy, she says, Your Honor, I didn't look into their background. I didn't look into this individual because that's, in her arguments, essentially, that's me doing the work for the defense.
I don't think so. I mean, if you're taking these statements and you're arresting a man, you're building an entire narrative from what these alleged criminals, witnesses are saying. You don't think it's fair for the prosecutor, by the way, to look into these individuals? And by the way, all of their charges are from Prince William County, and you are the prosecutor. So you can't say, I don't know, they're from a different county. I can't pull it up. They're literally on your laptop. One of your prosecutors brought these charges against these people. And specifically, two individuals that are interesting. And this whole case is built because of these two individuals. That is Tanisha Coleman, okay, and Glenn Ford. Tanisha Coleman, by the way, if you look up her name under the court system, you'll find out that she had a hit-and-run. She has a DUI. But most importantly is that she has a charge that is contribution to the delinquency of a minor. That's the prosecutor's witness. That's her witness. And then Glenn Ford, he had 4 charges that would come up last year. And today, when you look his name up, you only find 2. What happened to the other 2?
Commonwealth Amy Ashworth removed it, deleted it.
She deleted it from the system.
Not only did she null process it, she removed it completely from the system.
Okay, let me tell you what they are. Okay? I mean, I don't have it in front of me. You have 2 of them that I can pull up today. And it's possession of drugs, Schedule 1 or 2, public intoxication, and the ones that she deleted was intent to distribute drugs and brandishing a firearm while drunk. That's your witness, okay? So when Prosecutor Sammy tells the judge, Your Honor, I didn't look into them. I did not look. I'm not going to do the defense's job for them. Well, let me help you out, Sammy. Let me help you out. You have what Glenn Ford said on social media to a private actually not on social media.
Not on social media, on a recorded line to a private investigator.
He was bragging to a woman that was that made it look like she was taking him out on a date, and he was bragging. I mean, imagine as a 40-year-old man bragging to a girl you just met, or to a girl that you think you just met, and you're bragging that you were drugging and sleeping with a minor. What the fuck is going on? And Amy Ashworth wants to tell the community what? Jim Jones what?
That she's tough, that she supports Jim Jones.
She says, I'm a prosecutor.
She's tough because he's tough on sex offenders, pedophiles.
I support Jim Jones, and I'm a prosecutor. You're what again? A prosecutor?
Well, her star witness is a pedophile. Now,
Glenn Ford and Tanisha Coleman, those 2 individuals.
Absolutely. I'm going to play this audio. What Glenn Ford says to a private investigator, that he drugs and sleeps with a 16-year-old. Now, Judge Weimer said to the defense attorney, he said, you can look it up. You can look up their background, who these people are. The defense attorney said, absolutely not, Your Honor. These are files. These are cases that only I can access at the discretion of the prosecutor. The prosecutor should release this material to me.
I mean, they're the prosecutor.
So he ordered Sarah Sammy to release who these individuals, their background, their criminal background. You're bringing them as witnesses. You're going to have to release who they are.
Okay.
What their background, their criminal background is.
And we're going to help Sarah Sammy out here.
We're going to help Prosecutor Sarah Sammy and
clarify who these people that she is relying on. Who is she protecting?
Absolutely.
Who is she defending?
So Amy Ashworth wants to tell this community that she supports Jay Jones, the upcoming Attorney General, because he's tough on pedophiles. Well, I have an audio for Commonwealth Amy Ashworth and Prosecutor Sarah Sammy that your star witness is a pedophile.
And this is an hour-long conversation, by the way.
This is an hour-long conversation. You can find it on YouTube under Not Another Boring Podcast. It's a 15-minute long audio conversation. Now, I'm going to go directly to the portion,
please,
where he says that he drugs and sleeps with a 16-year-old.
Let's take a listen. Go ahead.
Let's see. All right.
And by the way, this guy is he's so stupid, right?
I mean, he's sitting there on a recorded line telling
he's so stupid.
This private investigator that he drugs and sleeps with a 16-year-old.
When this audio hit the internet, he first came up with the excuse that everybody loves, Elaine's favorite excuse. This is AI, right? That's what the excuse is, that this is AI, you made it up, that's not me.
And then later said, I said this and not that on this audio.
Later.
What do you mean? So now you're authenticating the audio.
Later he says.
Do you see what
later he says, well, if you listen to that, I didn't say this, I said that. Okay, so thank you very much for
authenticating the audio for prosecutor Sarah Sammy and Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, who's supposedly tough on pedophiles.
I mean, that's why I say when these people are stupid,
they're stupid.
They are really, really stupid. I mean, if you're going to claim AI that you made this up with AI, how are you going to get on social media again and say, if you listen to the audio again, I didn't say this specifically, I said that. So, yeah, thank you for your authentication.
That's crazy. And by the way, he didn't just say that he drugs and sleeps with a 16-year-old. He goes on and he says the 9-year-old, that's the ex-boy, that's Dorothy, Mustafa's girlfriend, Dorothy, that's her ex-boyfriend. He says, I force and wash Dorothy's kids, the 9, so you force and
those
wash
those
kids into the shower. And a 9, a 10.
Not his kids, by the way. Not his children.
Not his children. I mean, what 40-year-old man forces kids, he showers them, and he's like, I'm not looking at them when I'm showering them. What the fuck are you talking about? Let's listen to the audio.
It's crazy enough to say he showers them, but then admitting that you sleep and drug with the other minor.
Crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, that's criminal activity.
And Amy Ashworth wants to say that she's tough on pedophiles. I think once this audio hits this community, Jay Jones might pull that ad down. Doesn't want a prosecutor that supports pedophiles telling this community that I support him. Look, he's going to lose that election.
Look, this goes back to the issue at hand, and that is, what communications did Sarah Sammy have with this pedophile? Okay, did she tell him when he got arrested for brandishing a firearm and having drugs and being drunk and potentially selling the drugs, did she tell him, not to worry, I will null prosecute these charges? You're not going to get prosecuted as long as you're on board with testifying against Mustafa. Okay? He's already admitted that he never met Mustafa. He's already admitted that.
I have a body cam where he admit to never meeting Mustafa. Mustafa doesn't know him.
Not only did he disqualify himself as a witness, but he's a criminal. He's a criminal. He has no credibility.
Not any kind of criminal, a pedophile.
And he sold Dorothy's belongings, putting the wrong address on a pawn slip. We'll go back to Chief Newsham and how he feels about what's going on here.
All right, let's listen to the audio.
I think I got to unmute.
Okay.
That Mustafa guy.
I don't know. I just think he just smokes weed. Cause I even asked her, like, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, you on?
Is he alcoholic?
I just know he smokes weed. Because I asked her, like, you know what I'm saying, because at that time I was taking the shits, and I was like, it wouldn't be a problem. Like, you know what, just to stop anything, I won't, if I do it, I won't do it in this house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So every time I, like, come home from work, I would do it before I get in the house.
Yeah.
Or I would step out my house, even though I shouldn't have to step out my house.
Yeah.
And every time she's trying to sleep in my bed, like, no, go in the fucking living room, yo.
She tried to sleep in my bed. He's talking about Kylie, 16-year-old Kylie. He's like, oh, I told her, get out of my bed. Go sleep in the living room. Listen.
I'm like, you're not sleeping in my bed, not with me in it.
You're not sleeping in my bed, not with me in it.
Like, I don't want none of that drama. I don't want to be caught up with none of that.
I don't want no cops knocking on my door.
So he's not worried about the minor in his bed. He's worried about the drama and what it looks like.
One time I went to sleep, I woke up, she was in my bed. I got my ass up and went in the fucking living room and stuff.
I woke up, I found her in my bed. I got up and got the hell out of there.
By the way, for context, if you listen to the whole conversation, he says that there are times when he gives this minor...
Oh, you're going to listen to it. It's going to be
He gives this minor mushrooms, and she doesn't remember what she's doing.
That she's on the floor, doesn't even know where she's at.
He doesn't remember what he's doing.
He wakes up with her in his bed. He doesn't even know what he's doing.
So you're saying you drug this minor, you take drugs, and you both wake up out of bed in the same bed. What the fuck? That's disgusting.
Like, it's right now. Like, I fuck with you, my friend, and all that. Like, I know we had a history, we had a past, whatever, but this is different. This is fucking different. We are grown. You are still in a worse situation what I met you in. Yeah. I had to force those kids to take a shower.
Force the kids to take a shower. Listen.
I had to force those
kids that are 9, 10,
and 14.
And 14.
Kids to take a fucking shower. I had to teach them how to fucking take a shower. I mean, I wasn't in there with the boys looking at them or whatever. I'm like, yo, when y'all wash up, you know what I'm saying?
I had to teach them how to take a shower. I mean, I wasn't in there looking. I was just teaching them how to shower. Hey, let that really sink in. You just talked about a 16-year-old, how she wakes up in your bed after you just got done drugging her. And now you're talking about a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 14-year-old where you're forcing them to take a shower. I'm not looking at them. I'm just teaching them how to fucking shower. Commonwealth, Amy Ashworth. Do you want to still tell this community that you're tough on sex crimes? Do you want to still tell this community that you're tough on pedophiles? You want to tell this community that you support the upcoming Attorney General, Jay Jones, because he's tough on sex crime. But yet you're turning around and you're using a pedophile as the star witness who owned body cam. Not only that he's a pedophile, admitting on a recorded line that he's a pedophile, on body cam, he says, Mustafa doesn't know me. I've never met him. But yet, you sealed this body cam to protect this individual in this case.
And you
look away.
And you wipe away half his criminal record. I mean, she wiped out 2 charges, brandishing a firearm, intent to distribute. She deleted those from the system.
I mean, that is crazy. This is wild. The details that are coming out, I remind this community, the details that are coming out of this case, this is a car accident. The Commonwealth attorney says they're arguing inside the car, that the dash camera doesn't have audio. Well, today we have an officer, Chad Mason, admit to cutting this dash camera, removing the audio. Apparently, the police department has the audio. Wait a minute. So it has audio. Amy Ashworth told us there is no audio, but her department, in the internal notes, they say there is audio. Wait a minute. They say they're arguing inside the car. That Mustafa told us that he was arguing. When you listen to the conversation between him and Robert Drum, you find out that Mustafa never said that. That the officer falsified Mustafa's statements. You find out. You cut the audio. You falsify Mustafa's statements. You're using an individual that is manufacturing lies in this case. That's telling you on a body cam, I'm not there. I don't know Mustafa. Mustafa doesn't know me.
We then go back again to Sarah Sammy.
We go back to Sarah Sammy.
Who says she has not looked into the individuals. Well, Sarah Sammy, there you have it. That's your star witness.
That's your star witness. The
Amy
chief
Ashworth,
of police.
That's your witness.
You know, I'll tell you, I want to play that video where 2.5 years ago, in that lobby behind me, the lobby of the county jail, chief of police, Newsham, stood in the lobby with you and told you, I'm more than comfortable charging your brother, Mustafa Al-Jazari, with murder based on the evidence that we have. Well, hold on now.
By the way, I'll say
you
something
still
crazy
comfortable?
to that.
Are you still comfortable? I mean, the star witness that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is using is not only a pedophile, but on a body cam that she sealed tells you I was not there, and essentially is lying about Mustafa.
You know, I'll tell you this: in that video that you're going to play with Chief Newsham saying he's more than comfortable. At the time, I was actually questioning him about why the car was chopped up. That's what I was upset about at the time. That's what I had.
I remember he told you that's not the car.
He said that's not the car. But today is a different story now. Today is a different story because not only did you tamper with his car, and you have the obligation to preserve evidence when you're charging someone with the most heinous crime, murder. You have the obligation by law to preserve that car, to preserve the evidence, preserve his dash cam, And what do we know? Chad Mason, on the stand, testified in a motion to dismiss on October 31st, 2024. He said, I tampered with the dash cam, and I didn't know that I couldn't do that. He broke chain of custody, took the dash cam without a warrant, plugged it into his laptop, and according to him, programmed it. And then Robert Drum takes a hold of this dash camera, and he tampers with it. And then, finally, when they've done fucking this dash camera, they gave it to Kathy Zymas.
Who today she admits that it has audio.
That it has audio. Now, you want to tell me, Chief Newsham, are you still comfortable with my brother being charged with murder? Are you still claiming that's not the same car? Will you still stand here today and tell us it's okay for my officers to tamper with evidence? It's okay for my officers to chop up a vehicle, to tamper with it, to manipulate witnesses? Is it okay for your officers to not question a pedophile who stole Dorothy's items and pawned them using a false address? That's okay with you? For your officers to admit on body cam that is sealed, we had to steal this material to find this out, that Rob Sermon admitted he tampered with Mustafa's car. Rob Davis asked him, point blank, did you do anything inappropriate to it? And he said, yes. And then he says he's going to pump money into this case.
If you look around,
that's your officers. Are you still comfortable today the same way you were comfortable after that jail board meeting? That's my question. And what are you going to do about officers who openly violate the law? Are you a man of law and order? Is your prosecutor someone you trust to do the right thing when nobody's looking? That is my question to you.
Mohammed, I want to play the body cam where Investigator Davis is responding to a pawn slip by the ex-boyfriend, Glenford, the one we just heard the audio of, where he admit to a private investigator on a recorded line that he drugs and sleep with a 16-year-old. Investigator Davis responds to a pawn slip where the ex-boyfriend took with the 16-year-old, went into the apartment. The police gave them access to Mustafa's apartment. Mustafa endorsed his apartment, pawned everything, and removed the cameras inside the apartment.
Interesting.
I mean, they're deleting evidence to show that this is a beautiful relationship, while the police on the other end are weaponizing the children.
By the way, according to
a
police,
9, a 10, a 14, they're being weaponized against Mustafa, while Glenford and Kylie Clapp inside the apartment, allowed by the police access to remove cameras inside the apartment.
And I'll say, you say allowed by police, and I'll tell you why it's allowed by police. It's because the police report shows that the apartment locks were changed the very next morning. They were changed. Okay, by the leasing office.
I have a body cam where Investigator Romero, the one that weaponized and abused the children before they walked him into the forensic interview, is on a body cam. He says, I'm going to have Investigator Drum give you access into the apartment. Which apartment? Mustafa and Dorsey's apartment.
And they're not on the lease.
They're not on the lease. And then they go in.
Allegedly, according to you, Chief Newsham, this is a double homicide crime scene. How could you let pedophiles, criminals into Dorothy's apartment? The alleged crime scene, according to your prosecutor.
Unfortunately for Commonwealth Amy Ashworth,
Unbelievable.
we have access and we got our hand on the Google Nest videos inside Mustafa and Dorsey's apartment that shows the children are loved by Mustafa. His girlfriend, Mustafa, loves his girlfriend.
They love him.
It's a beautiful relationship.
It's a beautiful relationship.
Mustafa is a father figure in these children's life.
I mean, look.
You take those children and you weaponize them against Mustafa.
I'll tell you this.
And you have individuals to delete those cameras thinking that you deleted everything.
They thought they deleted that footage.
Amy Ashworth is terrified today.
I mean, are you telling me that your officer, you're the best? I mean, you're next to Quantico, okay? You're the best at digital forensics. One of the top police departments in the country. And your digital forensics couldn't find out that there's a Google Nest in the apartment? We found that out.
What do you mean? They have access. They have Mustafa's cell phone. The Google Nest videos are on Mustafa's cell phone that the police have access to. Now tell me why they haven't uploaded those Google Nest videos into the server.
That's what I was going to say.
Why are they not into evidence?
The moment the Google Nest videos hit the record of this court system, this entire case is going to be blown to dust. Okay? Not only is it going to be blown to dust, but you're going to have prosecutors who are going to be facing criminal charges for what they've done in this case.
Especially when their communication is going to show that they're communicating with those officers every step of the line who coach and abuse children against Mustafa.
Again.
Why do you think Sarah Sammy is so terrified?
Again, once again, this goes back to the prosecutor's communication. And I believe the prosecutor's communication is going to show that they were aware of Google Nest videos. They were aware of the dash cam with audio, and they hid it.
If you have nothing to hide.
They hid that information.
Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, if you have nothing to hide, then it should be no problem releasing your communication with the police and the individuals that you're bringing into this case, alleging they're witnesses. You should have
the attorney.
You should have to the attorney. To Brad Haywood. You should have no problem.
We're not saying give it to us. We're saying keep it secret.
Absolutely.
Give it to the attorney. He's entitled to it.
By the way,
by law.
Whether she likes it or not, she's going to have to give up her communications.
Of course.
Now, I want to watch this body cam. Do me a favor. Go over to Exhibit. This is a body cam of Investigator Davis, who's on speed dial with the 16-year-old. The 16-year-old Kylie Clapp, who we just heard that the ex-boyfriend Glenn Ford drugs and sleeps. Now, Investigator Davis is not with the forensic unit, but Sarah Sammy likes to tell the judge, Your Honor, the children were only talked to in the forensic interview. Wait a minute. I've got a body cam where he's on speed dial with that 16-year-old. Let's watch a body cam where the same investigator is telling that ex-boyfriend who sleeps and drugs Kylie, we need you, Glenn Ford. We need to get Mustafa off the street. We need to get our ducks in a row.
I'll make a quick note. When the prosecutor said
Investigator Davis is the same officer that says, I have an idea to employ into this case, but it's going to require spending money.
Yeah,
You're pumping money into this case.
Not only that, but in September, there's a report that says the police and the prosecutors reached out to the minor and had a private meeting. Now,
a minor. Where's the body cam when you where the prosecutor dealt with that minor?
Where's the report? Where's the body cam? You just told the judge that the children were only talked to by forensic psychologists that are trained to deal with children. And I guarantee you, the report I read doesn't say anything about a forensic psychologist being present. It says prosecutor and police met with the minor and had a private meeting. Where are the results of that meeting, and why is the lawyer in the dark? What kind of conversations were you having with this minor off the record? And how could you lie to Judge Weimer? How could you lie to him and tell him that the children were only talked to by the psychologist when you yourself had a meeting with the minor? You yourself had a meeting with that minor. You lied to the judge. I don't think Judge Weimer is going to be happy with you.
I don't think Judge Weimer appreciates being lied to.
I don't think he does.
All right, let's watch the body cam. This is Investigator Davis responding to a pawn slip after Glenn Ford and Kylie Clapp, the 16-year-old that's being drugged, and Glenn Ford is sleeping with her, went and cleaned out the apartment, and specifically the cameras inside the apartment, while the police on the other end are weaponizing the children, a 9, a 10, a 14.
Let's go.
Around you, everything at one point has been on a truck.
This is Rob Davis body cam, right?
Rob Davis, yeah.
By the way, I just want to say while that plays, I wonder what brought the pawn slip into this whole thing. Were the items reported stolen? Was there a police report for the police to get a pawn slip from Glenn Ford? I mean, they're looking for Glenn Ford.
Sarah Sammy tells Judge Weimer that I gave Brad Haywood everything, but yet he's left in the dark with every piece of information surrounding the pawn slip.
Yeah, what brought the pawn slip into the whole situation? Why was, by the way, and we'll find out later that Davis never questions Glenn Ford when he talks to him about the pawn slip. Why are you not questioning a criminal about selling the property of a woman that was just deceased? Why are you not questioning this man, the neighbor, selling her property?
I mean, listen to what Davis told Glenn Ford. We need you. We need to get our ducks in a row. We need to get Mustafa off the street. Why would he question him about robbing the whole entire apartment, including the cameras inside? That's gonna disqualify him and is gonna incriminate Glenn Ford. They will no longer be able to use him in this case.
And I wonder if the prosecutor told the police not to probe into the pawn slip issue, not to probe into why this man is selling off this woman's property. I wonder if the prosecutor instructed the police to stay back. Again,
why do you think Prosecutor Sarah Sammy is so terrified that her communication is going to be released to the attorney?
Again, that communication is key. It's key.
Don't know. Never heard of him.
I'll go back a little bit.
Did you hear what you just said? Glenn Ford.
Let's listen.
Glenn Ford. Don't know. Never heard of him. He doesn't live here? Never lived here. Okay. 2969 Birch Creek, right? 2969 Birch Creek. I've been living here 5 or 6 years. That's weird.
That's weird.
Let me go back and do my digging and see. I got this off of a pawn slip. A pawn slip? Yeah. What's a pawn slip? When you pawn something?
Yeah, when you go to the pawn shop and you pawn something, they take your license and they write down an address. And
so are you saying that this dude would have had to provide a driver's license with this address on it? I would think so, but
something like that.
Let me go back and double check. Maybe I wrote this down wrong. Before I start making accusations against people that
I mean, it's almost like Davis right there in that scene is defending Glenn Ford. He's saying, wouldn't he have to provide some kind of ID with the address? Would that mean that Glenn Ford is potentially going around with fake IDs?
Well, I have an audio where Glenn Ford admitted to a private investigator. Not only does he sleep and drug that 16-year-old, not only does he washes and forces these a 9 and a 10-year-old to shower, he went on and he says he forged things for a living.
Oh wow!
Now, I have that audio, and then I have him. He got online on a live on TikTok, and he said, Dorothy's vehicle, the minivan, I forged the title. I sold that vehicle.
After she died?
After she died. So,
are you kidding me?
I have the audio. I'm going to be releasing.
He sold her vehicle.
He sold her vehicle. He forged the title, and he sold the vehicle. Okay? So I have that audio. I have... Now, where is Prosecutor Sarah Sammy from this conversation? I mean, she's sitting there telling Judge Weimer that she never looked into these individuals that she was bringing into the Mustafa al-Jazari case.
He sold her vehicle.
He sold her vehicle.
Her vehicle.
She tells Judge Weimer she never looked into these people. I wonder why you want to tell Judge Weimer, let's release your communication with Davis, with these individuals,
with Glenn Ford,
with Kylie. And by the way, Kylie says, I have her on a recorded line. She says, Glenn Ford didn't take anything from the apartment. Glenn Ford didn't go in. I went in.
So she stole the stuff for him and he pawned it off.
What the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? These are the individuals that are used in this case. And every body cam that you open that are sealed by Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, that today I have, and I'm releasing on the internet. Glenn Ford says, I don't know Mustafa. Mustafa doesn't know me. Kylie says, I was never there. I didn't see anything. And they go on and create a story. Lie about Mustafa. And I promise you, when you release the communication between the prosecutor, Sarah Sammy, the reason she's terrified from her communication being released is because she's communicating with Glenn Ford. She's communicating with Kylie. She's communicating with these officers that are every step of the way falsifying this case. and she's instructing them on what to upload to the server so she can build a case on cherry-picking evidence.
Wow. Unbelievable.
I want to go to the conversation that you had with Chief of Police Peter Newsham, where he told you I'm more than comfortable charging Mustafa with murder based on the evidence that we have. Well, based on which evidence that you have? The evidence that that they cherry-picked between prosecutor Sarah Sammy and those investigators that falsified this case?
I mean, I find it interesting that he says he's okay with Mustafa being charged with murder when his internal affairs is specifically telling me we are not the ones why your brother is in jail. After they found out Robert Drum falsified Mustafa's statements, after they found out Robert Drum falsified the warrant, they're literally telling me over the phone, and I have the call recorded, they're telling me your brother is in jail not because of us. It has nothing to do with us. I'm with you. I'm on your side. But the prosecutor is bringing these charges, and all we can do...
We notified her that they falsified the statement.
Exactly.
That's what Sean Shelton said. I have an audio recording where he called you, and he told you on a phone call, I have that recording, where he said, I contacted Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. I notified her that the police report is falsified, that Mustafa's statement is falsified by Robert Drum. We are running our own investigation, but I notified the Commonwealth attorney. It's not us.
It's not us.
It's the Commonwealth attorney.
So, Chief Newsham,
let's play that video.
I mean, let's go to the video.
Yeah.
Charged with murder while their vehicle is tampered like this. And then the officer lies.
I'm very comfortable with your brother being charged under the circumstances and the evidence that we have. I'm very comfortable.
I'm sure you are.
But
That's why you have
like I said, report. You can disagree with me, and like I said, you can dislike me, but that doesn't mean
I don't dislike you, but I would like you to do the right thing. You're off. Okay, let me just hold on.
We have done the right thing.
The evidence was not preserved, sir. I'm just going to tell you before you leave.
I wish you and your family the very best
before you
in this
leave.
endeavor, and I wish you
before you leave. I want to say 3 things to you. Okay, the dash cam was cut before impact. Okay, Robert Drum told Casey Stevens, the lawyer, he told him he had the audio. In court, he says there was no audio. Number 2, the vehicle was crushed. You guys have an obligation to preserve evidence, especially somebody that's charged with murder. You have an obligation to preserve the evidence. It hasn't been preserved.
And all this
number
information
3,
can come out.
Sir, number 3, your officer flat out lied. He has it on his body cam recorded, and you refused to fix the issue. He lied on the report based on that conversation.
That is your opinion.
That's not my opinion. That's a fact. I got a letter from you. I have a letter from you.
It's your opinion. You're entitled to it.
I have a letter from you saying that you're investigating.
I'm entitled to it.
You're not entitled to yours as a personal person. You're a chief of police.
Please respect my opinion. I'm respecting yours.
Can you send us a letter saying you've concluded your investigation?
Have a good night.
So that we know where you stand on this? Mr. Newsham. Can you at least send us a letter? Sir, can you at least send us a letter saying you've concluded your investigation? Or are you still going to stall us?
I'm not stalling anybody.
Sir, you're stalling us. You sent us 2 letters saying that you're still investigating when you just told us your opinion.
If the case has been closed, you will get it closed.
So you're going to wait all the way till the end of the case to close out your case against Drum. Okay, sir. Have a good night.
Mohammed, the real question is Chief of Police Peter Newsham still stand behind what he said 2.5 years ago? Knowing that everything is released out to the community, the evidence show that Mustafa's statement is falsified, the vehicle is crushed and staged by the police, the dash camera is cut and muted by Officer Chad Mason, the children are weaponized, abused against Mustafa.
Drum never put in the file that he was able to identify Google Nest videos in Mustafa's phone. Mustafa's communication with Dorothy, non-existent. I mean, you have 4 cell phones. Drum had the password to Mustafa's phone. By the way, when I say he had the password, you can open up a phone and you can go into any app you'd like. Any app you'd like. You don't need a system that is gonna download all this information and it comes in a big file. You don't know what you're looking at. No. You can clearly click on his messages.
They had the password.
You can openly click on his mail. You can openly click on his photos. You can click on Google Nest. You can click on Rexing. You can click on whatever the fuck you want to click on, and you have access to it. And Robert Drum excluded the most crucial evidence in this case. That is the Google Nest. They excluded it on purpose, intentionally. They tampered with his phone. They tampered with the apartment. You have a camera right there. You're not asking questions. I mean, if I'm an investigator and the prosecutor is alleging a double homicide, the prosecutor is alleging abuse of children in the house, in the apartment. As an investigator, if I walk into an apartment and I see a Google Nest, I see a light bulb camera, the first thing I'm doing is getting warrants for those. The first thing I'm doing is taking those to digital forensics, and I'm going to say, I want every fucking video on that device. When I get somebody's phone, I'm going to say, I want every piece of communication that he's had with that girl that my prosecutor is alleging abuse. My prosecutor is alleging a double homicide. I want every piece of communication. I want every text message, every photo, every Google Nest video, every email. I want everything. And you want to tell us, Sean Shelton, you want to tell us Robert Drum is just some dumbass? He's just a plain boy. He's a plain country boy. He's not that bright. He went to Nova, a community college. That's your excuse? You put a dumb investigator?
Which one? Which officer? Which officer?
Sean Shelton.
Sean Shelton.
Remember, he says Robert Drum. Robert Drum. He's not that bright.
He downplayed Robert Drum. Well, what if I tell you when you open Mustafa's
he says he's not that bright.
Okay, let me tell you what's in the file. Internal Affairs called you. Sean Shelton called you and told you that I reached out to the Commonwealth attorney Amy Ashworth, told her the police report is falsified, told her that Mustafa's statement is falsified. We're running our own investigation. Now, what if I told you the audio that you supplied him with of the conversation, because you recorded the conversation. They've already had it. They've already had it.
They've already had it.
Two, what they've done, what Internal Affairs have done, took the audio, gave it back to the same investigator, Robert Drum, only to have him write another supplemental report.
That is falsified.
Where in the supplemental report, he says, I could not hear the audio. How convenient, sir. Internal Affairs is covering up for you by giving you the audio only for you to say, I can't hear the audio. Wait a minute. Sean Shelton heard the audio, and he told you that, yes, the police report is falsified. Your brother's statement is falsified. We told Commonwealth Amy Ashworth it's falsified. Why am I looking at a supplemental report by Robert Drum where he said, yeah, I can't hear the audio? I mean, they're covering up for this police officer. And the reason they're doing that is because Sarah Sammy stands in court and she says, Your Honor, she so repeats that the same falsified statement. Mustafa told Robert Drum that he was arguing inside the vehicle because the report was never corrected.
It was never corrected.
Robert Drum says, I can't hear the audio. How convenient. You have Internal Affairs, an agency within an agency that's covering up for the police officer that lied.
Captain
No wonder Captain Doodley, Captain fucking Jackass runs away when I tell him, are you the police department, sir?
He doesn't want
I'd like to speak to you. I'd like to have a conversation with you. Are you not our police department? Are you not Internal Affairs? He runs away. He fucking runs away because he knows what the next conversation is going to be, that I'm going to provide him with the body cam and the transcript of what his police department have done in this case. You have an officer that cut and muted the dash camera, sir. I have him admitted to it. I have an officer that falsified Mustafa's statement. I have an officer that chopped up the vehicle and staged it.
Why is it so hard to get accountability?
I have an officer that weaponized and abused these children and then walked into a forensic interview only to weaponize these children against Mustafa. That's child abuse. Do me a favor. Go over to Exhibit. I want to play this portion of the forensic interview where 14-year-old Javen says, Detective told me that Mustafa ran away, left my 5-year-old baby sister to bleed to death.
What a coward.
To bleed to death. If they could have saved her if Mustafa hadn't run away. What a coward. That's what detectives are telling this child before they walked him to the forensic interview. Mustafa was in a coma.
Sarah
Mustafa
Sammy.
was helicoptered to the hospital.
Sarah Sammy.
But you've got police officer lying to children. That's child abuse. These children needed Mustafa.
So
and
ask
in
the
their most
question.
vulnerable state, they needed Mustafa. They just lost their mother and their little baby sister in a vehicle accident. They needed Mustafa. But you took that away from those children, only to weaponize them against Mustafa. Does Chief of Police Peter Newsham still stand behind that he is more than comfortable to charge Mustafa with murder based on the evidence that they have? Well, the evidence that they have is they weaponized the children against Mustafa. And now Sarah Sammy wants to stand in court and tell Judge Weimer, Your Honor, I have no idea what took place between... No one talked to the children, she said, before the forensic interview. Well, now I have the child himself telling you in a forensic interview that detective lied to him. Detective weaponized him, told him that...
They
abused him. Let's listen to the forensic interview.
When he got into the car crash, the detective said he jumped out and ran, left my baby sitting there. And if he just thought to bring her to the hospital, maybe she would have made it, but she didn't because he decided to be a coward. And now she's gone. And now all I have is my two brothers. She was the sweetest. She would never even hurt her fly. She was citizen too. 25. And my mom's gone. Now she.
Did you hear what he said? Detective said. I'm going to go back.
When he got into the car crash, the detective said he jumped out and ran.
The detective said he jumped out and he ran away.
Just thought to bring her to the hospital. Maybe she would have made it, but she didn't because he decided to be a coward. And now
You know what's really
They're
sad?
telling this child.
You know what's really sad in this whole scenario here is that Mustafa was in shock when we took him from the hospital. He was in complete shock. I mean, he must have asked me multiple times, where's Dorothy? After the nurse, the officer, they've told him what happened. They told him, your family didn't make it. And when the nurse brought him over to us, when she released him, he continuously asked us, where is Dorothy? He was in shock. And his only concern at the time was the children. I can't go home with you guys. I can't go home knowing that the other kids are alone in the apartment. Alone. They're alone. And the police took that. The fact that he cared about these kids and he would not come home with us. I mean, by the way, I didn't know these kids. I didn't even know there was kids. I'm just asking him, what kids are you talking about? Okay? What kids? You're coming home. You just came out of a tragic accident. You're coming home. Okay? The nurse said, take him home. And he refused to come home. He has to check on those children. And the police, along with this criminal, Glenn Ford, this criminal, Tanisha Coleman, they took that and they turned it around and they told the children he's on the run. The fact that he showed up at the apartment, he's on the run. He's running from the cops. Did you see the blood on his forehead? He's running from the cops. That's what Glenn Ford is telling this kid, this child. That's what Tanisha Coleman is telling this child. They're actively abusing these kids. And Mustafa entrusted Tanisha Coleman. He trusted her. He said, can I trust you with these kids? Should I call the cops? What should I do? And she says, don't call the cops.
Why do you think they're so terrified to release the communication between Tanisha Coleman, Glenn Ford, Kylie, the police, and the prosecutor? Because they're corroborating. They're working with each other against Mustafa to weaponize the children against Mustafa.
By the way, I called Drum that night, and I notified him that the children are going to be staying with this neighbor. And he told me on the phone, under no circumstance is Mustafa taking those children home to his parents' house. Under no circumstance.
Are you talking about the same Drum that's on the phone with Tanisha Coleman?
But I don't see that in any of the reports.
Are you talking about the same Drum that's on the phone with Tanisha Coleman, where he hears the children in the background hanging on every word, and he tells them, Mustafa killed Dorothy on purpose?
And by the way, you have a father like
Wait a minute.
Divine.
Wait a minute.
Begging to be with his kids.
Wait a minute. You're telling the person that's in possession of the kids that you can clearly hear the children in the background hanging on to every word that Mustafa did this on purpose, killed Dorothy and the 5-year-old when you're in the initial stages of investigating this vehicle.
That is crazy, by the way. You've
already condemned Mustafa guilty from the minute that you got on. When Casey Fon told you he's on drugs, I've had contact with him. We've been briefed about Mustafa. We know him. We've been briefed about him. What have you been briefed? That he sued you?
Let me tell you this.
That he has a lawsuit against you? Now you're taking advantage of his accident?
By the way, it's one thing if you're behind the scenes investigating what happened. It's another thing to actively tell and abuse these children and tell them without evidence, without any evidence, before you looked at the dash cam, before you looked at the data recorder, before you had a chance to examine what happened in this accident, you're already, as an investigator of 20 years, you're already telling the children this man did it. You're telling the children that. And Sarah Sammy wants to stand before Judge Weimer yesterday and tell him, I don't know. The only person that talked to the children is a forensic psychologist who's trained to deal with kids. You've already fucked these children's brains up. You've traumatized these kids. The police did. Glenn Ford, Tanisha Coleman. You've already abused the shit out of these kids. And then you want to throw them into a forensic interview with a psychologist? And you want to act like you don't know? You haven't looked at it? I haven't looked at it. Well, let's do this. Let's get your communication and let's see if you really didn't look at it. Okay? What are you so afraid of? Why are you shivering and shaking before Judge Weimer? Why do you have 10 internal affairs officers behind you in court? What are they all interested in?
The moment that Judge Weimer says, I'm not going to allow the release of Prosecutor Sarah Sammy and Commonwealth Amy Ashworth communication released to the defense attorney, all those suits got up and left. That's all they were. That's all they wanted to ensure. Well, we're going to get those. Mustafa's defense attorney is going to get that communication.
It's exculpatory evidence.
It's absolutely exculpatory evidence, especially when you're talking about Brady violations in this case.
She wants to
children abused.
She wants to act like her communications with the police. It's dangerous to probe into that stuff.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous because it's going to show that every step of the way you're aware and you're instructing these officers to falsify this case.
Here's the thing: anything a witness says is exculpatory evidence, and clearly you've demonstrated that you've been talking to witnesses. You've been talking to people. You've been instructing police. You are what is driving this case, and you are the cover-up in this case. And those communications are pretty much going to blow the lid off this entire corruption case.
Mohammed, she's terrified. She says to Judge Weimer, it's dangerous to probe into these officers. It's dangerous to probe into my communication with the officers.
It's dangerous because it's going to put her in jail.
Absolutely. It's dangerous because it's going to show that Commonwealth's Amy Ashworth is using a pedophile.
They're in on it.
As the star witness in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. And on that note, I leave you with the ad that's running around the community that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is telling this community that I back up the new upcoming Attorney General that's running against Jason Myers, Jay Jones, because he's tough on pedophiles, that he's tough on sex offenders. When she's using a sex offender, when she's using a pedophile only to falsify the case of Mustafa Al-Jazari, she's protecting a pedophile. On that note, I want to thank everybody for being here. Mohammed, I want to thank you for being here. Do you want to say anything before we end the podcast?
You know, I just want to say that although I wasn't in court yesterday...
You took really good notes, although you were not in court.
Although I was not in court, and I am currently not allowed to be in the courtroom because of the lies of Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, the smear campaign alleging that I bought a rifle and 1,000 rounds, insinuating that I'm going to do something crazy. I'm sitting here. I mean, I've been here for 3 hours and 8 minutes. I would say I'm pretty peaceful. Okay, maybe I have a big mouth. Maybe I talk a lot. But I would say I'm very peaceful.
I thought the First Amendment protects you from speaking out and talking about what they're doing behind closed doors.
And I'll tell you what
I guess in Prince William County there is no First Amendment.
What I figured out in Prince William County, specifically with Sarah Sammy, is if you talk, your voice is a very dangerous weapon. When you talk, you are not only exposing the corruption that goes on behind closed doors, but you're implicating prosecutors with criminal activity, defending pedophiles, defending an officer who openly admitted to tampering with Mustafa's dash camera. The one piece of evidence that was installed by Mustafa for his protection, that was taken away because Chad Mason decided, I don't give a fuck about the rules. I don't follow the rules. And I have a prosecutor who's going to cover up for me.
Because he decided that there is no due process of Prince William County.
He was given the green light.
That it doesn't matter that this is a car accident.
He was given the green light.
He was given
the green light. And I'm willing to bet the green light was given to him through a text message, through communications with Sarah Sammy, giving him that green light. She gave the green light to Davis, to Drum, to allegedly Amy Hodson, allegedly Elizabeth Lee, to
Evelyn Horton.
Okay.
The wife of the investigator, Stephanie Claiborne Drum, who were finding her on a police body cam on three-way when she doesn't work for the police department. Those communications are going to come out.
Listen, man, you're giving me the last word. I'm trying to wrap this up. You're going to go back into...
We're going to have another hour of another... We're going to continue for another 2 hours.
Amar's going to open up a brand new branch for us, and we're going to sit here for another 3 hours. Okay? All I'm going to say to wrap this up is, whoever you are, Sarah Sammy, you will be brought to justice. Your communication, although it was denied yesterday, your communication, by law, has to be released to the defense attorney. It's exculpatory evidence. When you talk to witnesses, the defense attorney has to know what the witnesses said. That's exculpatory evidence. And if we have to sit here in a jail parking lot at 3 a.m. to teach you the law, that's what we're going to do. We're going to reteach you the law. You went to law school. I don't know how you got your degree. Probably on your knees somewhere. But we're here to tell you, by law, that communication is going to get released. We don't want it, by the way. I don't want your communication. Amar doesn't want your communication. But I think this community is entitled to that communication. This community is entitled to transparency. Doodley, Captain Doodley, you can run away from Amar, but eventually we pay your salary, and eventually you have to answer to this community. Okay? When you wake up in the morning, you are working for us. When you're on the clock, you're working for us. You're not working for yourself. You're not working to cover up Chad Mason's crimes. You're not working to cover up Drum's crimes. We put you in internal affairs, which is, by the way, a very honorable position to be in. I mean, to be placed in internal affairs, you are the deciding factor into whether an officer violated department policy and violated the law. You choose and decide, this person does not belong on the force because he's giving my men and women who are risking their lives every day a bad reputation. You're putting the men and women that get up every day and serve this community, you're putting their lives at risk. We're not here to spread hate against the police. We are telling you to follow the law, follow the rules, okay? And when Chad Mason takes the stand, raises his right hands and says, I swear to tell the truth, and he admits to tampering with the most crucial piece of evidence and says, yes, I tampered with the dash camera. I violated the law. I did not execute a warrant properly. I took that dash cam and I messed with the files, violating department policy and violating the chain of custody. Okay? When he says that, it is your job. It's your job. Without us looking, we don't have to look at you doing your job. You have to do your job all on your own because we put you in that position. We put you in an honorable position that when nobody's looking, we expect you to do the right thing. And if you can't do it, resign. If you can't do it, just like what Pete Hegseth said, if you don't agree with the policy, leave honorably. Leave. If you can't do and execute your job honorably, please leave and let somebody else do it. That's all I'm going to say.
On that note, I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank Muhammad for being here. I want to leave you with Prosecutor Sarah Sammy says it's to Judge Weimer and the Brady motion that was filed yesterday, that went through yesterday. 18 Brady violation went through, approved by Judge Carol Weimer. And the only thing Judge Weimer didn't approve is the release of the communication of Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, with the police, with the individuals that are being used as witnesses in this case. And the only thing that Prosecutor Sarah Sammy tells Judge Carol Weimer, and the reason that it should not be released, she tells him, is dangerous, Your Honor. It's dangerous to probe into the communication with the officers involved in this case. It's dangerous to probe with my communication with those officers. It's dangerous to probe into what they said to each other, what I said to those individuals that I'm using as witness. It's dangerous, Your Honor. What I tell you is this is exculpatory evidence. When you talk about children being weaponized against Mustafa, abused in the process by police. That's what the body cams showed. The children are talking about it in the forensic interview. When you talk about a vehicle that's crushed and staged by the police, when you talk about a dash camera where Officer Chad Mason admitted to cutting and muting the dash camera, Mustafa's dash camera is cut and muted by the officer. When you talk about Mustafa's statement being falsified by investigator Robert Drum, those communications are exculpatory evidence. They are absolutely exculpatory evidence because there are missing body cams from the server in the police department, evidence.com. And those communication is going to show what took place in this whole entire case, because the details that are coming out is that this is a car accident. Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. Mustafa lost his family in a tragic vehicle accident. But yet you have Mustafa sit in a county jail in solitary confinement for 2.5 years without a trial. Mustafa's due process has been violated, and Prosecutor Sarah Sammy is terrified to release her communications. She tells the judge, it's dangerous, Your Honor. Well, I'll tell you it's dangerous because it's going to show that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is using a pedophile. Not only a criminal, a pedophile, where he admit on a recorded line, Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, that says on a body cam, I don't know Mustafa. Mustafa doesn't know me. He admit on a body cam. He says that. So how could you use someone that's not there? Mustafa doesn't know him. And I remind this community, Commonwealth's Amy Ashworth is charging Mustafa with murder. You need motive. They want to tell you that the motive in this case is Mustafa. The boyfriend, Mustafa, Dorothy's boyfriend, is jealous from the ex-boyfriend. Oh, wait a minute. If the ex-boyfriend is telling you Mustafa doesn't know me, what are we talking about? You're building a whole entire case on an individual that Mustafa doesn't know? That on a body cam says, Mustafa doesn't know me, I don't know Mustafa. I was never there. And then goes on and makes a bunch of lies. And then turns around and says, I was never there for anything that I said. That's on a body cam. That's already been released. And then later goes on, admit to a private investigator on a recorded line that he sleeps and drugs a 16-year-old. That's why it's dangerous. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy tells Judge Weimer it's dangerous. That's why it's dangerous. Because Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, this community is going to see that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is using a pedophile as the star witness in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. In the falsified case of Mustafa Al-Jazari. And I leave you with the ad they're running all over the community for the upcoming Attorney General, Jay Jones, who's running against Jason Mayors. Where in this ad, Amy Ashworth says, I support Jay Jones because he's tough on pedophiles. He's tough on sex offenders. Well, Commonwealth's Amy Ashworth, you're using a pedophile in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa, through the police body cam, Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope, and Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, the community is the deciding factor. I want everybody to watch this ad and watch it again and watch it over and over and over and hear Commonwealth Amy Ashworth tell you that she supports the upcoming Attorney General, Jay Jones, because he's tough on sex crimes. He's tough on pedophiles. Well, the real question is, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, what's your position on pedophiles? Because we're watching you use Glenn Ford, a pedophile, in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Or is it whatever it takes to get Mustafa? A Mustafa in this community has to be put back into his place. How dare a Mustafa sue the police? How dare a Mustafa sue the police? Oh, wait a minute. Mustafa doesn't get due process. You don't care that this is a car accident. A white girl is dead. A Mustafa was driving their car. It doesn't matter if it's a car accident. It doesn't matter, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. To you, it doesn't matter. In Prince William County, it doesn't matter because it is a Mustafa. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Judge Weimer, you're under the microscope, sir. The community is watching you preside over the Mustafa Al-Jazari case.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker. Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff, as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker.
Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff,
as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker.
Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent
2 years in a cell, no trial, no voice. Truth buried deep, but we ain't got no choice. They tried to erase them, break them apart, but we scream free Mustafa. From the soul, from the heart. They falsified the paper, twisted every word, turned a car crash to murder, like justice never heard. Dorothy and Empress, angels in the sky. Now they blame a broken man while the real ones lie. A badge and a pen, that's all it took. Signed his fate with a false report and a dirty look.
Wherever the fuck you on the other side, what the fuck that guy do?
And again, scream Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name, it's a movement, a mission, exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. Amy Ashworth, playing judge in the jury in a county so dirty, soaked in fury. Police in the courts all in on the plot. They framed an innocent man and left his soul to rot, but his family's out marching, banners held high, while supporters flood timelines, refusing to lie. They want silence, we give them the storm. Truth blazing through like justice reborn. Every post, every chant, every sleepless night is a spark in the dark that's ready to ignite. This ain't just a song, it's a battle cry for every soul locked up while the guilty lie. We free Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name, it's a movement, a mission, exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. 2 years too long, time to rise above. Truth is power when fueled by love. So we'll march, we'll fight, we'll never let go until Mustafa walks free and the whole world knows. In a cell, no trial, no voice. Truth buried deep, but we ain't got no choice. They tried to erase them, break them apart, but we scream free Mustafa. From the soul, from the heart. They falsified the paper, twisted every word, turned a car crash to murder, like justice never heard. Dorothy and Empress, angels in the sky. Now they blame a broken man while the real ones lie. A badge and a pen, that's all it took. Signed his fate with a false report and a dirty look.
Wherever the fuck you on the other side, what the fuck that guy do?
And again, scream Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name, it's a movement, a mission, exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. Amy Ashworth, playing judge in the jury in a county so dirty, soaked in fury. Police in the courts all in on the plot. They framed an innocent man and left his soul to rot, but his family's out marching, banners held high, while supporters flood timelines, refusing to lie. They want silence, we give them the storm. Truth blazing through like justice reborn. Every post, every chant, every sleepless night is a spark in the dark that's ready to ignite. This ain't just a song, it's a battle cry for every soul locked up while the guilty lie. We free Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name, it's a movement, a mission, exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. 2 years too long, time to rise above. Truth is power when fueled by love. So we'll march, we'll fight, we'll never let go until Mustafa walks free and the whole world knows. In a cell, no trial, no voice. Truth buried deep, but we ain't got no choice. They tried to erase them, break them apart, but we scream free Mustafa. From the soul, from the heart. They falsified the paper, twisted every word, turned a car crash to murder, like justice never heard. Dorothy and Empress, angels in the sky. Now they blame a broken man while the real ones lie. A badge and a pen, that's all it took. Signed his fate with a false report and a dirty look.
Wherever the fuck is on the other side, what the fuck that guy doing? Follow him and get the
We free Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name, it's a movement, a mission, exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. Amy Ashworth, playing 2 years in a cell, no trial, no voice. Truth buried